25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org, m25m.org.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Nat and Ron. Weekday afternoon. MoJo 50.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. Almighty MoJo 50.
Man, they cannot catch a break in the Midwest, in Nebraska and Missouri and all the flyover states. Just 3 weeks after that bomb cyclone knocked them down, I will have to say they got right back up. They're now expecting a blizzard to hit the, It's as of last night, it was still sitting off the Pacific Northwest coast. And it's moving across the Rockies, expected to dump heavy snow into Tuesday into the mountains of Wyoming and Colorado. So this thing, as it moves east, it will intensify as it enters the Great Central Plains on Wednesday. The barometric pressure, measure of intensity, blah, 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 may drop to levels nearly as low as during the record-setting bomb cyclone in mid-March, which means it could just sit there. So
and that's not good, having all that freeze up.
No.
Oh, wow.
So, again, these people are, they're proud people and they need some help. And you're not seeing this on the news because you're not seeing the people standing on their roofs and waiting for somebody to come help them. They're pulling up grabbing their bootstraps, pulling those up and doing what they got to do. So if you can help in some way, it's $5, $10, $1, whatever it is, go to, m25m.org. That's Matthew 25 Ministries. And right there on the front page, if you scroll through the little slider at the top, you'll see Nebraska flooding, and it'll say donate online. And they can use any help you can get, that they can get. So if you have a couple of bucks that you can spare, please do. They need all the, like I said, they need all the assistance they can get. Who was it that is up there? Which one of the jackholes is up there? He called in last week.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah.
So many of them, and they all look alike. That's the problem. So if they snow in March is an Ohio thing. Larky F and Farkin just tweeted snow in March is an Ohio thing. Well,
right.
This time around, it could be affecting everybody across that area where the bomb cyclone hit. So if you can do anything, if you can help, let us know, or go to Matthew 25 Ministries, m25m.org. And help there. And if you are up in that area, call us and give us an update. Let us know what's happening. It's 202-900-5900.
That's correct.
Did I do that right?
Yep. Good job.
Look at that. Things not going so well in Chicago either. Over the weekend, 24 shootings, 5 murders. Lori Lightfoot, the new Chicago mayor up there, can't be happy. But at least she has Kim Foxx to fall back on.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. 24 shootings, 5 murders, 2 children were hurt when gunmen opened fire at a birthday party, I believe. It was on Saturday. Most recent fatal shooting occurred on Sunday morning. A 52-year-old man found shot dead with a bullet wound to the head. That'll do it. Last year, Chicago had 561 murders, more than the 2 biggest U.S. cities combined, New York and L.A. And so far, remember, the last year, 561. So far, 44 murders in Chicago in the first 2 months of 2019.
It's like they go through the purge in Chicago every night.
Yeah, they really do. It's crazy up there. And they can't get a handle on it. When you have Kim Fox letting people, well, she wasn't a murderer. I know. But when you have her letting people out like Jussie Smollett and what's that tell everybody else?
How did Chicago become this way?
It's always been kind of the Wild West, if you think about it. It's the Al
mob,
Capone and the mob and
yep.
everything else. And so, I mean, it's being, to thine own self be true, I guess. But still, this is getting insane when you got kids being hurt. Other than that, if people in the neighborhoods want to shoot themselves,
right,
then the herd, go for it. Put a fence around it and let them do their thing. But when you start hurting kids and innocent people, something has to be done. You know, I hear every damn train whistle in the studio now.
I know. I'm hearing it myself right now. And it's so loud.
It's the old 709 coming through. Whew, bizarre.
And the only tracks are those tracks near us.
Yep. Well, at least we have reminders every now and then. I forgot to mention this yesterday. Jason Sudeikis on Saturday Night Live doesn't do the best Joe Biden in the world, but it was kind of funny what they did. They had him and Kate McKinnon played a therapist, and they had Biden going to sensitivity training. Here's just a little bit of it.
Mr. Vice President,
what do you got?
Let's discuss how to properly greet a woman.
Okay, all right. What about a handshake? That all right?
Handshake is great.
Good. Okay. And what about during that handshake, I go ahead and I tickle her palm a little bit, something like that.
That's not great.
Okay.
I would say no tickling at all.
Really? Even on her birthday? Okay. All right. Okay. Now.
Here's a scary thing. I do both of those things. I do both of those things to women. I have done them. I mean, there's no women around here to do it to, so they're kind of safe. But, he goes on.
Okay, what if I see someone that's having a hard day, all right? Bear with me here. And I cheer her up by lifting up her shirt and blowing Zerberts on her tummy, just...
Absolutely not.
Okay, let me see what else I got. Oh, am I still allowed to do, something like that gorgeous lift that they do at the end of Dirty Dancing? Is that still okay?
Who would you do that with?
Hell, I don't know. Whoever's strong enough to pick me up, I guess.
That's funny.
Possibly a linebacker.
Joe, I had a hunch you'd be more of a learn by doing type, so I've invited a couple female Democratic voters here today.
It was all right from there, but there were a couple of funny lines in it. But the funny thing is I've done all of those things to somebody I work with, including the.
Really?
Yes. Yep. I sure have.
They did it to you, or you did
I
it to
did to them. People I've worked with at
on
other
their
studios.
belly.
Yep. And she would. I guarantee if we.
Oh,
if
okay.
I call
You
her
said she.
She.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
It was a she. Although I wouldn't be above doing some guy either. I mean,
how did you get close to her belly to do that?
Oh, it's easy. Let me give you a few tips about women.
No.
Oh, it just.
How do you get in a relationship with somebody you work with that you can blow? What did he call them? Zerberts?
Do you think I'm giving you this information for free? Hell no. We'll have seminars. We'll charge money. It's
oh man.
Is that appropriate for work? No, but then again, I kind of push the envelope. But according to this, you can't do that anymore. You can't. Even Joe Biden can't get away with blowing Zerberts on somebody's belly. It's the. I can't even do it on my hand. I mean, there's nothing like that to bring some.
I can't say that I've ever been that close to a coworker's tummy, ever.
Wow, you haven't tried hard enough. Okay. Hold on, that was a bell. Sorry. At least I know Leprechaun's out there right now counting the bells I've missed, and here, just for the hell of it, we'll throw in a couple of those for
I
good
might
measure.
have done that to someone's cheek, but still not a coworker.
The cheek on their face?
Yeah, yes, the cheek on their face. Yes.
There's nothing like blowing farts on somebody's stomach. Mouth farts. I mean,
you got to get the you got to get the horn in there today.
I know it's unused. It just sits over here.
Man.
That in the megaphone. It's underused. But Leprechaun again will keep us honest on that. But I can understand why Biden does this. I really do think he's harmless. I think he's just a harmless big old. He's kind of.
I think he's a touchy-feely, for the most part, harmless.
Yeah.
Now, does it make people uncomfortable? I would have to say it probably does. But
yeah,
I'm a touchy-feely kind of person too.
Yes, you are.
Not that kind of touchy-feely.
Well, you could be. No, I am too. And you. I'm
a hugger.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had any. No, I usually have a pretty good sense of who in an office if you go up and give them a hug, because the other place was a big huggy place.
Oh,
but
no,
there are some people.
I mean, I play it professional until it's until it loosens. Nah, that's not even the way.
I can fake that pretty well too.
Damn it!
See?
No, I mean, look,
you just can't hug people anymore.
Some people communicate via touch. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And if you shake someone's hand and they reach in and they pull you in for a hug, am I going to give them a hug? Hell yeah, I'm going to give them a hug.
Hell, I'm giving them tongue.
Oh, no.
It would be kind of funny because it was Joy Behar and the rest of them on The View that were bitching and moaning about, can't we hug people anymore?
See, that's my thing.
Can
we not? Look, if it's unwanted, it's unwanted. You tell me you don't want me to hug you. Okay, I won't hug you.
Remember, yes means yes and no means try harder.
Oh,
come on.
See, that's bad.
They all want it. Look
that's
how
bad.
they're dressed. But wouldn't it be funny if it was after all of this that it was the progressives and the Joy Behars of the world who actually brought the whole Me Too movement to a screeching halt, saying, "Look, we've taken it too far," because that's what she said essentially.
Absolutely.
That would be poetic justice. You just can't stick your finger in people's ear anymore. They just don't see the humor in it.
You gotta lick it first.
Yeah, of course. A wet willy.
Wet willy.
You know, that's a lost art.
I bet the willies out there are like, what in the hell, dude?
Yeah, why'd you have to name it after me?
We could call it a wet Bradley.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, that's bad.
That's a different thing, by the way.
Like a Q-tip.
Uh-huh. Sort of. How would you like to have decreased risk of diabetes, lowered blood pressure, improved cholesterol levels, decreased risk of heart disease, decreased risk of certain cancers, improved mobility, decreased joint pain, improved blood sugar levels, decreased risk of stroke, reduced back pain, etc., etc.? Would you like that? Because if you would, there's a simple way to do it. It's simple. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's simple. You can lose weight. And look, I know, believe me, I understand. If you're overweight and you want to lose weight, it is tough. And it's like the person who's lost weight is like a person who stopped smoking and wants to tell you how great it is to stop smoking. Really, you need to stop smoking because it's going to rot out your lungs. You ever seen somebody with a black lung? You ever seen the inside of a lung after somebody's been smoking? Shut up. I know it's bad for me. I know it's bad to be fat. But you're not going to do anything until you're ready to do it.
That's the thing. You have to make the decision yourself.
You've got to flip that switch in your head. You have to decide that you're ready to do it. And when you are, go to riduzone.com. And essentially what it does, it's not a magic bullet. It is something that will help you. It has the OEA molecule, which is found in olive oil. You can go out and drink those 12 liters of olive oil, or you can get a bottle of Riduzone. It's a little more palatable, and it helps you lower your calorie consumption, and it also helps speed up a slow metabolism. Riduzone.com. Not a magic bullet, but it could be the secret weapon you've been looking for. When you're ready, Riduzone.com. Felicity Huffman and 14 others are going to plead guilty in that Varsity Blues cheating scandal. They've decided they're going to.
One of the 14 others, not Lori Loughlin, is it?
Lori Loughlin, I think she's apologized. But
I don't think she's pleading guilty.
I'll bet
I think there was something the other day I read that her and Felicity Huffman are handling this in two very different ways.
Well, Felicity Huffman is she's pleading guilty. She could face She could face 20 years in jail and what, a $300,000 fine, I think. She's going to see neither of those.
No, not if she's not
guilty. She's not going to see 20 years. She won't see any time behind bars. That is just the way of the world. If she does, I'll be shocked. This is a world where Jussie Smollett was turned loose, so who the hell knows? She could be set free. There's no telling. The guy that Singer, was it Larry Singer, whatever his first name is, the guy who was taking the bribes, he's already pled guilty in a Boston federal court, and I think he has to pay back like 1.5 20 or 25 million. He's got to pay back a lot of money.
Was there just one? There was just one guy for that school, right?
He was the fixer. He was the facilitator. Yeah. He had all the connections, and he was the one who reached out to the different schools. He had the people placed everywhere.
Right.
So
right.
He knew how to get things done. He's going to get things done all right. But in prison, he just has to lay there and take it. Lori Loughlin, I know that, Lori Loughlin, I think she said that she's guilty, too.
She has not pleaded guilty, according to the message I just got.
They're lying. Well, at least Felicity Huffman. And again, I still feel bad for...
Misty, Brad said you're lying.
You didn't have to tell her I said it.
I'm pretty sure she said it.
No, she could have mistaken your voice for me. She could have thought you said it. And poor Olivia, I do feel sorry for
Olivia Jade.
I do feel sorry for Lori Loughlin's daughter.
Yeah.
Because I doubt that she did know. I guess it's possible that she knew, but she made it pretty clear she didn't want to be in college, and you're going to college. She had all of these, she had her business started. She knew what she was doing. And then she lost all of her income, or most of it, because of this whole scandal. And apparently she was trademarking something, and she got reprimanded by the trademark gods. She had to correct the trademark application and send it back in. According to the U.S. Patent and Trademark officials, the daughter of Lori Loughlin filed to correct information to successfully amend her application for both Olivia Jade and Olivia Jade Beauty.
What's wrong with those?
Well, she just had to, I don't know if you know how it is, government paperwork. If you go to trademark something, you ever tried to trademark something? Anything that involves an attorney gets really complicated really quickly.
Yeah.
And expensive, too. So I don't doubt it that there were some things missed, but I feel bad for her because she was just kind of caught. She's the victim of overzealous parents, if everything is as it seems to be. And in, I believe this was in London, Craig Randall shoved, kicked, punched, and strangled his partner in a spree of violence that caused the room around her to go blurry, she says. He was jailed for throwing a plate at his girlfriend and shouting, "Where's my dinner, wench?"
Just thinking out loud.
I don't know whether...
if I were to do that...
I'd come visit in the hospital.
I would die. It's pretty simple.
The guy wanted his dinner. I don't see...
You don't see the problem?
Apparently, she doesn't listen.
Well, no, look, now... See, it's only a bad sentence if she is not a wench.
Right. It's not offensive if it's true.
If she is a wench.
Yep. And technically, isn't a wench just a woman to a pirate? Arr. But
I think you'd wind up with a peg leg and a one eye if you did that at home.
Yeah, that's true. The next line of the story is kind of telling. But when the unemployed joiner appeared in court, he claimed his rage was all his victim's fault because she had been nagging him.
Right.
First of all, what is a joiner?
Now we're getting there.
Yeah. She just wouldn't shut up. She would not shut up. Let's see if I get it.
Shut your dirty whore mouth, player.
I've done a bunch of things online.
You added some sounds.
I did. I've been practicing.
At least you know how to do it. That's great.
I do. Let's see.
Shame.
Mm-hmm.
Shame.
He also said that he was going on. I mean, by the way, please save the tweets and the emails. I know it's bad to hurt women. It's bad to hit anybody. He also said she was always going on at me and had gone doolally when he kissed her friend. See, what the
hell is doolally?
I think it's akin to ape shit, but just a little bit different. And just for kissing her friend, too.
What?
That's all? I know. It doesn't say there was tongue involved. It just says he kissed her friend. It could have been just a right there on the. Could have been a boop.
Dude, this picture of him is a real winner.
Isn't he a good-looking man? I don't understand why anyone. I mean, when they first met, why she looked at him and went, got to have me some of that. And he's like, okay.
A lot of it depends on what the relationship was based on at the beginning.
Yeah,
Look, I like to play pirate once in a while. I'm probably going to call you winch.
I like to play pirate. That has different connotations in different parts of the world. The couple heard that the court heard rather the couple had been in a relationship for a year when they decided to separate. It took one of them a year to figure out things weren't working out. They later met up and argued, in which time Randall shoved the woman into some stars. I think they mean stairs. Caused bruising to her thigh. He demanded she come home and cook him dinner the next day, but when she did, he took the plate and threw it at her. The heart wants what the heart wants, right? I mean, look at the woman yesterday with the dolphin. The heart wants what the heart wants.
I get the feeling Craig Randall won't live to see 36, but that's just me.
Yeah, there's that. Would the Larky F and Farkin, would the wench have preferred her husband given her friend Zerberts on her friend's belly instead? See? That's the problem. Not enough Zerberts on bellies. More of that, and people would be laughing a little bit more, I think. I don't think that's
I don't know, Brad.
I don't think that
kind of depends on who you're giving Zerberts to.
Do we live in a world where you can't put Zerberts on someone's tummy now?
Yes, Brad. Joy Behar.
I wouldn't want to give her. Oh, no, I wouldn't want to give her. I wanted to make sure I was right.
She'd giggle a little bit.
She would. It's a toss-up between, and when I say toss-up, I mean this, between her and Whoopi Goldberg. I'm just going to play these all day long. They're kind of fun. Remember, every time I see Ted Danson now, I think of Whoopi Goldberg.
I know.
I'm just saying. In just a minute or two, we will, that thing tweeted out last night, the certificate of registration. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Do you remember a game online? It was called Send Me to Heaven. It was an app on your phone.
No.
It's called Send Me to Heaven, which sounds a whole lot more fun than it is. It was where you would, it was a game that encouraged you to throw your cell phone up in the air as high as you could and then catch it. They banned it in the App Store, go figure. They determined that the game was encouraging behavior that could result in the damage of the user's device and thus did cast Send Me to Heaven out of its App Store. The app creator, Peter...
Wait a minute. They approved it the first time, though?
Apparently. I don't think they knew exactly what it was. Because Send Me to Heaven sounds like, remember that game 7 Minutes in Heaven in the closet?
No. I do not remember that game, Brad. I have absolutely no idea. Can you explain it to me?
Those were the good old days. 7 Minutes in Heaven. Wow. If I knew now what I knew then. The app's creator, Peter Savarsky, told Wired that he was disappointed by the ban. He had hoped to have people shattering as many iPhones as possible. That was his goal when he created the game, or the app, I guess, was to get people to destroy their phone. The original idea was to have very expensive gadgets which people in certain societies buy just to show off and to get them to throw it.
You know, there are people who actually go to the Apple store or the store, buy their new iPhones, take them outside and throw them in the air. They'll put a new case on them or something, or they'll take a hammer and bash it.
That's called having more money than sense.
Yes.
Or daddy's money. Now, if you
or being a 13-year-old.
Or, yeah, well, there's that. That's the more money than sense and daddy's money combined. By the way, if you get a new phone from PatriotMobile.com/Mojo, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. You can throw it in the air. You can stomp on it on the ground. They'll just say, we'll sell you another one. You want another one? We got another one right here. Beat this one up, too.
Keyword being said.
Yeah. Run over this one with your car. Here, we'll sell you another one. They have an endless supply. I mean, it's the freedom to do whatever you want to do with your stuff is what it is. And that's the idea behind Patriot Mobile. It's not just about destruction. It's about actually supporting causes that you want to support, conservative and libertarian. Empower Texans is one of the organizations they support, the Susan B. Anthony list, Tea Party Patriots. If you go to patriotmobile.com/mojo, you'll see a list of everything. The NRA is on there. FreedomWorks is on there. And the idea is with Patriot Mobile, you're supporting these organizations and not the progressive organizations that might be supported through your current cell phone provider. So just do a Google search, find out what your current cell phone provider supports, and remember that every time you send them money, every month for your cell phone bill, you're indirectly supporting those other causes. If you want to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, it's pretty simple. And it doesn't take but a few minutes. PatriotMobile.com/mojo, and you'll find out how they can they'll let you keep your phone, keep your number, get a new one, throw it up in the air, drive over it with a car. It really doesn't matter. It's your phone. But you're supporting the things you believe in. PatriotMobile.com/mojo. All right, we'll get into the, this is a very cool thing for Doc, and we'll do it next on your Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Michael Pelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. Something kind of interesting happened yesterday. Nancy Pelosi sat down with USA Today for an interview, and during the course of the interview, it appears that Pelosi did 2 things. She took a swipe at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I think she makes the case for the Electoral College to continue. Pelosi was talking about the young progressive Democrats in her caucus, and the 29-year-old out-of-control Ocasio-Cortez came up, but very subtly. Pelosi said her party needs to come together despite all of their differences, and then she said, while there are people who have a large number of Twitter followers, what's important is that we have large numbers of votes on the floor of the House. Now, AOC's got nearly 4 million Twitter followers, a lot less than Pelosi, but Pelosi controls the House because she controls the votes. Interestingly enough, the Electoral College parallel should be noted. While somebody might win the popular vote, if you don't get the electoral votes, you can't control the White House. Is Pelosi sending a message that she's pro-electoral college? Well, I don't know. We need to ask that question. What's more important is it appears that the speaker is continuing to swat down the radical AOC. And that makes me feel good. Testudo, my friend. Testudo.
Mike Opalka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
So wait, nobody wants to hear another dolphin story today?
Oh, please, for the love of Pete.
Jackal, angry beaver. So male dolphins are like all guys. They think of sex nonstop and hump your leg. Yeah. Sounds like it would turn your phone into a taser, says Stinky. And what, is Stinking Duck still drunk from last night? Oh, no, he's up. He or she, whatever. You guys seem to be skipping right over the numerous times that Biden felt up children who couldn't run away. I don't remember ever seeing...
I think I've seen the kids pull away, but they do that with their parents, too.
Right.
The thing is I've never seen him feel anybody up.
I've never seen him like with little Timmy. God bless this one and all. Little Timmy can't run away. Timmy's trying to get away from Joe Biden, but he can't.
Look, I'm not a Joe Biden fan, but I don't think the guy's out there accosting anybody.
Nah, at least not that we know of. If you haven't yet signed the petition, the one that Chris Salcedo started, please do. We've tweeted the link out a couple of times. I know, well, you sent it already. Why are you doing it again? Because it still needs a lot of signatures. It still needs 5,000 people have signed. It needs another 95,000 people before April 25th, which is, 16 days away? Is it going to make it? I don't know. And this is to bring accountability to the Obama-era government. And if they're going to... They can dish it out, but they can't take it is the problem. So here's the thing. If we don't finish this, if we don't get 100,000 people to sign this thing, we deserve what we get. There you go. I mean, it is what it is. And
that's the way petitions work.
Yeah. Apparently, if 100,000 people don't give a crap enough to get out there and sign it, then we're in trouble. So we got you've had this for how long now, Ron?
Probably about 3 weeks.
Okay. About time we probably said thank you.
Let me back up. So we got the notification about 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. But that documents, the printed documents you're holding in your hand, we've only had for a few days.
All right, and this is from, her name's Karen, and she was a fan of Doc's, and still is a fan of Doc's as far as I know. She had a star named after Doc. And
star registry.
And possibly a couple of them. Let it be known that the star residing at the astronomically verified position of RA 22.172 and declination minus 15.58. Oh, and this time of year in that spot, oh, you should see the waterfalls are amazing. It is hereby named on the 14th day of March 2019 as Michael Doc Thompson. The name is permanently filed in the registry's vault, copyrighted with a star register, with all rights and privileges attended hereto. So,
what would those rights and privileges be, Brad?
I think we have mineral rights. We can drill. We can drill for a drill, baby, drill. We can get the oil off of this star. Who's to say there's not oil there?
That's correct.
In loving memory of Michael Doc Thompson, who was a shining star here on Earth, never basking in his own light, but holding others in it so they could shine as brightly as he did, I am naming the star after Doc Thompson, so he will always and forever shine down upon us. Tip of the day, never break rule number 5. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Example, never jog by the tracks. True.
Yeah, so it's a certificate and a map of the star. It's literally a star field with that one pointed out, right?
Yep. And it's a shiny star too. It's a very shiny star. I always wanted to do this. And I don't know who I was ever going to name one after. Maybe me. I'll just name a star after me.
That's pretty cool.
That's what you have to do on Hollywood Boulevard. If you want a star on Hollywood Boulevard, you have to petition. So you get some phony committee that's like the committee to put a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for Brad Staggs. If they pay enough money, poof, you get your star.
I think it's a $20,000.
Yeah, it's Mo. There's Mo. Yeah,
$20,000 or $25,000 donation.
There's money involved. There's always money involved.
So I want to know who. I want to know who had the balls to go, you know what? Yeah, I own all the stars in the universe, so let me assign them names.
Who's to say you can't? I mean, who?
I guess
it's nobody else has claimed them. And technically, are you getting the star, or are you getting is it the image? Would an attorney tell you it's the image of the star?
I think it's the naming rights. Is that what it is?
Maybe.
What you would call it?
Maybe. So one day people will be landing on Michael Doc Thompson's star.
Well, probably not, because the star is like a sun.
How do you know?
They might land on a planet.
How do you know that by then? What if they just go at night?
Well, think about this.
If they just go at night, it's not a problem.
Circling that star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then those people on that planet, if it harbors life, can look up one day and go, "Look, there's the Doc."
See. Forever.
Yeah.
And, that's better
That's
than,
pretty cool.
That's better than every time you see a little Honda Fit that smells like a locker room thing in a dock.
The Doc will come up tomorrow.
Yes, it will.
See, I don't know. That just doesn't work for me.
I've actually not one, but 2 stars named after me. This is DMXDM. Texas Yankee. Now the Doc Thompson show has a star. Odyssey can do radio specials on it. Yes, that's true.
And in fact,
if you haven't, I know we're sadly lacking in promos. We'll get to them. But Odyssey is the newest radio network under the Cuddle Me Buff umbrella. Look it up.
The Cuddle Me Buff Media Group.
Yes.
Yep. So Odyssey Radio, ODYSY, is the new radio. Now, we haven't started changing the programming over there yet, but we'll adjust the programming and put it more in line, add some more new shows, do some things like that. But it's quite a privilege. There's a lot of good shows over there, and it just, like when you're watching Star Trek or you're listening to Carl Sagan talk or anything like that. I think about a week ago I posted something from Carl Sagan that was pretty
billions and billions.
But yeah, so if if you like to wander off into space in your mind, that's a place to go. I do that quite often.
Yes, I just did it just now. I was off in La La Land. But if I was thinking, you and I need to do a show on Bigfoot and UFOs.
Yes, I'm in.
All right.
What are we going to call it?
We'll talk about that.
I know Russ is listening. Russ is our PD over there.
The Bigfoot and UFO Hour.
Russ, come up with a name for a show about Bigfoot and UFOs.
Bigfoot rides in a UFO. The Bigfoot UFO show. The UFO Bigfoot show. I don't know. We'll think of something. I think that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
I've always wanted to do that, so we may just do that because you know what? Life is too damn short to not do what you want to do. This was the day back in, wow, this goes way back to 1865? Was this the day that Lee surrendered to Grant? Yeah, 1865. On this day, Confederate General Robert E. Lee, I was about to say F. Lee Bailey. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered his armies to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at the Appomattox Courthouse. And on this day in 2003, it's been 16 years ago that this was the sounds out of Baghdad as they pulled over the statue of Saddam Hussein, of course, marking the end of our involvement over there in the conflict. After that, it was,
was mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission accomplished. We're all done there. Got that one done. Got that finito. It's no more to do. Didn't quite work out that way, did it?
No.
It never does.
Although Saddam was gone. Saddam's gone.
Saddam Hussein.
Isn't that what Bush called him?
Oh,
Saddam?
Yeah. HW. Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
And now they're calling the Republican Guard over there a terrorist. Trump has.
Yeah, that came out yesterday.
I mean, if everything's true that we know about them, why wouldn't they be?
They turned around and called the CIA a terrorist organization.
To them, it is. It's all a matter of perspective. Although the CIA does not do the unspeakable things that the terrorist group do. But every time we'd be at a football game in Nashville and those the fighter planes would come over, the fighter jets.
Yeah,
I always think, damn, I'm glad they're on my side. Because can you imagine seeing those say,
"Oh, that's a hell of a show of force, no doubt."
Yeah, they start. Ooh, boy, are you glad that they are on your team? So to them, I'm sure the CIA is, I'm sure they're not big fans of the CIA, but that would be their problem and not ours. So now, vaping, I would sure like to know what the deal with, the conspiracy theorist side of me says that everybody is coming down on vaping because there's money involved. Because it's not your health. They don't give a crap about your health. The government does not care if you're fat. It all boils down to money. They don't care if you're smoking. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care if you're putting needles between your toes. But when it starts involving money and the money that flows to them, that's when they start caring. Now they're saying tobacco-free snuff is the latest alternative to help smokers quit. Tobacco-free snuff has been around forever.
Yeah.
The little pouches you can put in.
Call it beef jerky.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, we had little pouches, a little thing that looked like a snuff can, Copenhagen or whatever you want to call it.
Oh God,
Skull.
Don't talk about Copenhagen.
You used to be the crap, dude. If you had a round thing in your back pocket and it made a little round circle in your jeans. You were the shit.
Copenhagen is, and you could get a decent buzz off a little pinch of Copenhagen between your your lip and your gum.
I tried it a couple of times, but
that is nasty.
Number one, I spit all over myself, and number two, you don't want to try to swallow that. Oh my God.
I remember to this day. I can describe the scene. It was in high school, and I had Copenhagen in my mouth, and I swallowed some of it. And it was at the Antelope Valley Quartz Hill High School football game championship, whatever. We were at in Quartz Hill, and I was sitting outside it made me feel so foul that I sat down in front of the ticket office and I just leaned up again. It was throwing up. Oh, it was horrible. I cannot smell Copenhagen to this day without wanting to throw up.
There's one thing that's in my book way worse than that, and that is to watch someone spit into a freaking cup or a bottle. That nasty crap.
Oh, let's tell one of those stories, because I had a friend at the other place. He chewed, and he had a cup or a bottle he would, on the way home. And he inadvertently one day.
Oh, don't tell me he drank that shit.
I'm not even going to say it. Ugh. Yeah. Apparently, when you do that, it immediately induces the gag reflex. He found that one out the hard way, right there in the front seat of his car.
Oh, it was
so
nasty.
Who knew you couldn't drink saliva mixed with...
Dude, Matt and I used to work with a person who would be on video like you are right now, spitting in a cup. That is so damn nasty.
So they're saying, though, that the tobacco-free snuff is the latest alternative to help smokers. They are...
Is it shredded up beef jerky, or is that?
I don't know. It's just
that's what it used to be.
A Swedish match's Zyn, a flavored nicotine powder packet designed to be stuck inside a person's lip, will be in stores across the U.S. So what this is the snuff, the tobacco-free snuff industry putting out these reports.
Dominic, if you've got a story, brother, you better get on the phone. 202-900-5900.
What did Dominic say? Izzo?
I've got a story.
Oh, Izzo said that?
Yeah.
What? He's up? He's awake? I thought he'd be... Yeah, call in. We'd love to hear the story. It's a nicotine powder in a packet. You stick it between your cheek and just a pinch between your cheek and gums. Think chewing tobacco without the tobacco. Till now, the company was known for its... I thought it said anus. It says sinus. How do you say it? Sinus? The Swedish name for snuff. Or moist tobacco placed in the mouth. Who doesn't like?
I don't know how many of you this ever happened to, but when I was very young, my great-grandmother used to always have a twig sticking out of her mouth.
I thought you were going to say shit.
No, and she would want to, come give your grandmother a hug.
Come give your grandma a hug.
And she had the powdered snuff that she would stick that little twig down in it and twist it around and then put it in her mouth. And, of course, it was always caked around her mouth. And I'm like, Jesus, what in the hell is that?
Did you blow Zerberts on her stomach?
No.
Grandma,
I
you
loved
like
her
that?
and everything, but that was nasty.
Yeah, it's always funny. Everybody has that the grandparent or the aunt or the uncle who gets a little too close. They don't have the personal space radar, and they usually have really bad breath. And they're right up in your face. So there you have it. Is that Izzo? All right. Just remember, you can't say the F word. You can say the S word.
No, I'm not. Wait, no. I'm fine. I don't drop the F bomb. Maybe once. That's about it.
Everybody else on his show does, but he doesn't.
No kidding, right?
I know. You guys are making me sick this morning, reliving a very specific story I had with that dip crap, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I for those of you who know, I used to be a cop, and I used to work the 3 to 11 shift. So afternoons was somewhat of a busy shift, and I shared the same squad with a guy who worked midnights. So on midnights, the guys always did something to stay awake, drink coffee, and a lot of guys dip. Well, my partner was a big coffee drinker. So the squad would go unused from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon till I got there. 3 in the afternoon, I'm there, blah, blah, blah. We get a domestic, shots fired, whatever. I run in the car. I get in my car, and he's got his big coffee cup in the way of the computer, which he left. So I'm so pissed. I'm like, dude, John, what did you do? I pick the thing up and I throw it, and the lid comes off, and all the coffee sprays on the other side of the door. Except for it smells like mint. And I'm like, this is minted coffee? What is this crap? After I finished the call, my whole cake side of the door was caked in his dip spit because it wasn't coffee. It was his entire cup of chew.
God.
Yeah.
That is nasty.
I had to clean all that crap off.
You should have just hosed it down. It's city property. Who gives a crap? Just hose the damn thing down. That is nasty. I'm
reliving that.
I don't see how people chew, especially the Copenhagen. That is just the nastiest smell. I guess to some people that smells like chocolate cake. I don't know. But it's you never smoked. You never smoked, did you?
Cigars.
Just cigars.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't count.
He'll do a cigar in a heartbeat.
Well, that doesn't count. I mean, you don't inhale cigars. You get other cancers from cigars. You get lip cancer. Yeah. Get tooth cancer.
Yeah, there you go.
All those good things. Yeah. So how are things in Chicago, by the way? A busy weekend with 24 shot, 5 dead. How's it going up there?
No, you're missing today because yesterday we had an additional 15 shot and I believe 4 dead.
Wow.
So that's a combined, we have 46 shots in 4 days. This city's out of control. It's absolutely out of control.
With the new mayor and all. But like I said earlier, you still have Kim Foxx to fall back on.
Well, she just let off. I found this out this morning. So, when people talk about corruption in Chicago, it's not a joke. I tell people nonstop, take the corruption you think of Chicago and multiply it by 100. You won't even understand. She just let another guy go off of a DUI charge. This guy happened to be a former police officer for the Cook County Sheriff's Department who was fired for alleged gang ties. Then he was appointed a chief's position for a suburban town in Chicago. Now, an appointment means you have political connections. He was a chief for that town. He got fired from that position. Somehow he kept the badge, and after being terminated, he went up on a traffic stop that an Illinois state trooper was on because he knew the guy the trooper had pulled over, and he convinced the trooper, hey, I'm still on the job, let him go. Trooper found out about it. He got arrested for that. He gets a DUI, and Fox drops the DUI charges.
Wow. This guy must be connected.
Is disgusting.
He must be connected all kinds of ways.
Yeah, he is. He is connected to one of the guys who ran against me in the sheriff's race. Everybody up here their finger is in more mud and dirt, and it's not a running joke. It's truly serious how gross this city is.
And it's really a shame because I like Chicago. I like this city. I like going up there. It's.
I have a question, Dom. Do you get?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten death threats?
Oh my God, yes. We had a guy arrested from my campaign. Oh yeah, I had a guy arrested during the campaign. Was gave out my address, advocated men sneak in through the basement windows we had, and people need to pay me a visit. And I have a Pontiac, a '67 GTO, and people need to take care of my GTO. And there's tons of stuff. Always threats to my family, property, and person. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with my shining personality.
Oh, I bet.
Who could be mad at that little face? I just want to go boop right on your nose every time.
The line and the list is long. My friend. It's very long
and distinguished. He says.
Yeah, exactly. So when are you getting your butt down here to Texas?
It's in the works every day. So unless you're planning me on your couch, it'll take about a couple more weeks. So yeah, that's being looked at every single day. I'm done. I'm just done with this state. I can't stand it. I think I got a little taste of the Texas magic, and it's kind of addicting when you get to the MoJo studios right outside the MoJo River. I mean, I got to be there. I got my porch chair and my umbrella for Sunday afternoon siestas out there, and maybe a fishing pole or two.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and when it starts getting lighter earlier in the morning and the grizzlies are out there swatting the salmon out of the little waterfalls, it is amazing to just sit there, smoke a cigar, and drink a glass of scotch, even if it is the morning. I mean, why not? It's the MoJo River. So
I remember Dominic said when he drove down, he said, I crossed the line of the border into Texas, and he was like, Okay, yeah, this is where I want to be.
There you go.
Dude wasn't here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it was easy. It was the easiest decision I ever made.
They're doing the best to screw it up down here, but hopefully we can hold them off until you get here.
Oh my gosh, we will be the Alamo. We will. MoJo will be the new Alamo.
I'm not sure I want to die in this building, but yeah, I can see the symbolism there. I'm with you.
If we can get TRA guns and donate some more AR-15s, maybe we have a good fighting chance.
Yeah, we need somebody to come down and shoot this one.
I want to be
Apparently
Davy
nobody
Crockett.
here is going to.
Yeah. See, now I hear, what is this? You guys may, if you guys are, I want an AR-15, and I want to even if I'm sitting in the background eating popcorn, I want to be a third person on a stool listening to the Bigfoot stories. If you guys go that direction, that crap cranks my gears, man. I love that stuff.
It's going to be.
Don't do it without me.
Well, you may have your own show
you
on
may
there
get
too.
your own show there too.
Just remember, when you're a big star, don't forget us little people.
No, I'd be talking about Bigfoot. You mean all my exes? That's how that would go.
There you go. All right, Izzo, be good. If you can't be good at it. We'll talk later. He's on tonight at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern?
7 o'clock Eastern.
7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. God, I hate time zones. Does your vape pen look like it's about to explode in there?
No, but I did hear a story. Somebody was in here the other day talking to me about one.
In Memphis.
That exploded.
A vape pen exploded, ripped away a chunk of a guy's face, broke out some teeth, according to a lawsuit he filed. 25-year-old David Bishop of Cordova, that's near Memphis, was at home one morning. This was last year. He said he decided to use an e-cig before going to work. He placed the device to his lips, pressed the button to start vaping. Suddenly, the lithium-ion battery inside the device exploded, and the blast blew pieces of the e-cig into the man's face, breaking several of his teeth. It says the blast ripped away a big chunk of flesh from his upper lip through his lower left cheek. The explosion also splashed Bishop with battery acid, causing chemical or heat burns to the left side of his hand, face, mouth, and tongue. It was in May 31st that it happened. It was so violent that one piece of the vaping device flew into the air, left burn marks on the ceiling and the wall before the piece finally landed on top of a cabinet. So I'm sure that this does happen on occasion. I'm sure that whenever you have a power source like that, whenever you have a battery, I mean, lithium batteries are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the battery technology has come a long way. It still has a long way to go, but it's pretty amazing what batteries can do now, and they're powerful. They're powerful little energy plants, and I'm sure that there's going to be a certain number that are defective. It's going to happen. I mean, it's just it could have been in the e-cig. It could have been in a drill. It could have been in a phone. Remember the phones that were blowing up?
Absolutely.
So it's and in that case, is it the battery? I'm sure that they've sued not only the e-cig manufacturer.
This guy's lucky it didn't kill him.
Yeah, I mean, put a piece right through his eye. Could have taken him out. The suit originally filed in state court in October, transferred to federal court in February. Companies involved in the case have denied wrongdoing. No. I wonder if when you get one, and none of us ever read the paperwork that come with anything. We never read. If you put a piece of software on your computer.
No, guys don't read the paperwork.
Well, that's true. Well, I don't even think women do. In the case of the EULA, the End User License Agreement on Software, have you ever read one of those? I mean, all they say essentially is you can put this on your computer. It might screw your computer up, and it may or may not work anyway. I mean, that's the essence of all of these end user license agreements that we never read. I mean, a very small percentage of people ever read these things. So I'm sure that there's something in an e-cigarette or in a vape device that says, this thing, if there's not, they're crazy, that you're holding this battery up to your face.
You see that thing I just texted you? We're being told we need to hang that on the wall next to the AR.
Hang what on the wall?
That thing I just texted you.
Sorry, hang on. Hold on. I have to go to my messages. I didn't have them open up here. Is that from Russ? What is that?
Yeah, Russ said you need to hang this. I think it's a Star Trek phaser.
That's not is that a Star Trek phaser?
He said you need to hang the Star Trek phaser rifle we just got on the MoJo wall by the AR.
Is this like one of the ones from the original show? Because this would have been one of those that was in the original pilot, Where No Man Has Gone Before. Not the original pilot, but the episode Where No Man Has Gone Before, where they all looked weird.
I'm sure he'll let me know here momentarily.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I was into buying all of those at one time on eBay. I'd get the phaser replica and the communicator, all that stuff. And then when you realize,
still have that stuff?
No, I don't have those. But you can get stuff now. I mean, think about the Razor phone, the flip phone. It's a communicator.
Russ got like a scaled USS Enterprise this last weekend.
Did you really?
Oh, it's nice.
I would go back and build one of those. I've seen the original Enterprise in the Smithsonian.
It's like 3 foot long.
Okay,
so real nice. Well, he said it's going to travel because when he travels and does his conventions, conferences, he has a full blown captain's chair that he sets out there next to his booth as well. He said that's going to travel with him now.
Oh, that's cool.
He said that rifle. He said you're correct about the rifle. It's worth about $1,400 now.
Actually, I'm surprised it's not worth more. The original Enterprise is only like 6 feet long, and it's in the
model.
It's in the Smithsonian. When we saw it there, it was in the basement right outside the snack bar, and it was before they'd restored it because the thing has had to go undergo a really intensive restoration because it was cracking, and I mean it's made out of 2x4s and plastic and plaster and stuff, so it was never designed to last this long. But it's really cool to see it. Scientists also saying that now a bad diet is more deadly than smoking or high blood pressure. They pin down which dietary habits are more problematic. Consuming both low amounts of healthy foods and high amounts of unhealthy foods are key, they said, to problems. I would take that as an axiom. Bad stuff in, bad stuff out. And that's why you need to know about the Rich Solution. If you go to therichsolution.com, you'll find not only healthy habits for your lifestyle, but a line of supplements that is designed to enhance your life. You'll also find Gwen Rich's story, which is amazing. You'll find episodes of Gwen Rich's show on Spoonie. I think they just put those up there, so you can listen to...
yeah, they're actually on Spreaker.com. And, she starts her live shows next week.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this is if you are, again, you got to have your head in the right place, but if you're ready to make a healthy switch, remember the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. Also, you can find information on that at therichsolution.com. Coming up next, it's your headlines on your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. They say they have foiled an ISIS-inspired terrorist plot. Authorities in suburban Washington, D.C. say a Maryland man who's now under arrest had planned to drive a stolen rental truck into crowds at a popular tourist spot, National Harbor, about 10 miles south of the nation's capital. Attorney General William Barr heads to Capitol Hill today for the first time since getting the special counsel's Russia report. Democrats expected to grill Barr about his handling of the report. The Democrats demanding release of the entire report. No redactions. The latest staff turnover in the Trump administration, adding another acting director to a growing list.
Following Kirstjen Nielsen's resignation, President Trump named Kevin McAleenan of Customs and Border Protection to be acting Homeland Security Secretary. He's the latest top official to temporarily lead a department. Right now, there also are interim directors at the Pentagon, Interior Department, White House Budget Office, Small Business Administration, and the Office of White House Chief of Staff.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston says Secret Service Chief Tex Alice also leaving the administration. Election Day in Israel. Parliamentary elections will determine whether longtime Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gets a fifth term. Military affairs analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, says if he's reelected, Netanyahu has vowed to annex the West Bank.
That's not going to go over well, but certainly with the Israeli right, which is going to be part of the coalition if he's reelected, will support that.
Netanyahu facing a serious challenge from former military chief Benny Gantz, whose blue and white party is inched ahead of Netanyahu's Likud in the polls. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are lower. Right now, Dow futures down about 14 points, S&P futures off 3, NASDAQ futures 10 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Having an extra supply of food on hand is just smart. Some people call it prepping. I call it smart. You never know what's going to happen in this world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. You'll find out a lot of good reasons to have that food and some great prices. mypatriotsupply.com.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become national senior advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, it's Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. You know, everyone lives with a little bit of pain, but living with diabetes can be a real pain. While you may have to test your blood sugar and take insulin, ordering your testing supplies shouldn't be one more pain you have to deal with. At least it's not when you work with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to purchase your supplies, or sorting through your insurance requirements to figure out what they cover. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive saves you time and money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with, too. So why don't you give Diathrive a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes? They're so convinced that you'll love their service that they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code MATT, that's M-A-T-T, at checkout. Be sure to head out to the web right now and check these guys out. It's Diathrive.com.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50. Mothership has landed.
Wow, and thank you, Keith Jones, for the correction. It wasn't a vape pen, it was a mechanical tube mod. I've been vaping for 6 years, he said. If you practice safety, you will more than likely never have an issue, but with all lithium batteries, explosions are possible. Isn't that what I said?
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that, too. That it was the battery that put a battery next to your face and the same thing with cell phones. There's bound to be a stinker in the bunch.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that one exploded, or maybe even two, you're going to have some that do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure if you go on YouTube and put e-cig explode, you'll find all kinds of them.
For sure.
But, I mean, something's going to happen. It's just a matter of when you have a battery and batteries that put out that much power, yeah, it's going to be, eventually there's going to be an issue.
And our batteries are requiring more and more and more and more power to be dished out with because we haven't really, our battery technology has not really gotten any better.
No, it's what's holding the size of electronics back.
Yeah. It's crazy to think we've come so far at all these other things. We can microprocess and all this stuff, but batteries,
not in batteries.
Holding energy, nope.
That's why we'll never get out of that. You want to hear my conspiracy theory?
Yeah,
that's why we'll never get out of Afghanistan. One of the two things that Afghanistan has in abundance: lithium.
Oh, really?
And poppies.
Lithium and poppies.
Yep.
Drugs and energy.
Yep. Two things that that would be the what other reason? I mean, I know it's an oil transport area. You got all that, but what other reason would Russia want to be in there for? Or us?
Terrorists?
It's money. It all boils down to money.
Yeah.
So as long as there's lithium there and poppies, I think we will.
As long as there's energy and drugs, we'll always be here.
So this was a. Have you ever flown on a helicopter?
No.
Oh, they're so cool. Ron, you've been in a helicopter, right? You're a helicopter guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Helicopters they feel completely different than airplanes.
That's correct.
And because just the way they pitch and yaw, and I mean, they can fly nose. Yeah. It's weird how they helicopters.
A lot of people believe, Brad, that a helicopter, if it loses power, will drop straight out of the air like a brick. And that's not true.
What happens?
It glides down just like
Does it really?
Mm-hmm. It's called an auto-rotation landing.
Auto-rotation landing.
Because you got to think, those blades in the wind are going to be spinning. If they don't lock up, right? The blades are going to be spinning. So you still have some lift,
right?
But the lift is not enough to keep you in the air. It's just but it's enough to get you on the ground. As a matter of fact, when you go through rotor training, you actually have to do some auto rotation landing. It's
kinky.
It's kind of crazy, but a lot of times helicopters are in places that you can't land very easily.
Right. Well, this one, there was a guy on board this helicopter somewhere overseas, and it's a tourist helicopter, and he's taking this video as this thing crashes. So you hear this, you hear the engine kind of winding down there, and then everything inside the helicopter just starts getting tossed around. And at this point, I'm thinking that there's probably 5 or 6 people on this helicopter. And right about now, I think they're thinking about having to change their underpants.
Whoa.
So you hear the mayhem.
Wow.
And this whole thing goes down. No one died, by the way.
I started saying, do I need to cut away from this video?
No, but it's amazing because then you hear everything stop. And you hear the guy get up. And I think all of these people were either from South Korea or Thailand or something like that. But they start to step out, and you know how they say any landing you walk away from is a good landing?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They walked away from it, but I'm not sure if you would qualify it as a good landing.
Man,
the terror on these people's faces, and if you are, we have a video archive, right, Ron? I mean, when people don't see the live stream of the show on MoJo 50, they can go back and look at it.
It's on YouTube and Facebook.
All right, good.
Right.
For now, yeah.
So, like, the one thing that I'm always terrified about when it comes to helicopter crashes is the fact that those blades they're not like, they don't stay together a lot. They will fold and bend or break.
At least not in the
minute
movies.
that helicopter tips and that hits the ground, those blade shards go everywhere.
What was the movie?
It's like a big grenade. Just
what was the movie we just saw on Netflix? The Triple Frontier.
Frontier.
Yeah, with the helicopter crash in that, and those blades. I mean, that was a documentary, right? I mean, that was real. Wasn't it? No. That was just Hollywood?
Yes.
It sure seems like that would be what it looks like. But anyway, this guy climbs out, and you can see how twisted up this helicopter is when you go to MoJo50.com. If you're listening to the stream or listening to the podcast, just take a look at this footage.
What's that leaking into? Is this water?
Who knows? I mean, there's blood all over the rocks.
That's good.
Yeah, there's that. It reminds you, I mean... I guess it's true. Any landing you walk away from is a good landing.
That would be like, because if I walked away from a helicopter crash, I would consider myself 100% lucky.
Yeah.
Like I would go immediately to Vegas. And start gambling my ass off.
I've only been on a plane one time when I thought that it was actually flying into Chicago, and I thought there was so much turbulence that I thought, okay, this is it. I'm done. And spoiler alert, I didn't die.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. I know, it's weird. But,
how do you know?
I thought he was going to turn around and show the helicopter.
No.
Yeah, I kind of wish he did. I would like to see it.
Yeah, no kidding.
At that point, I think he was just happy to be out of the plane. The worst Mother's Day gifts ever? One person said, I bought my mother a garage sale toaster.
Nice.
Not sure if it counts as the worst, but Mom is hard to buy for, so I gave her a card with coupons for free meals at my house throughout the year.
That's actually nice.
She never used them.
That's probably...
I prepaid for a Weight Watchers membership from my mom as a Mother's Day gift last year. I promised I had the best intentions. She was going on a cruise in the summer. I thought she'd like it. She really didn't like it. See, those are bad ideas.
Yeah, don't ever tell a woman that she's... don't even suggest...
You're right, exactly.
...that a woman needs to lose weight.
No.
You will mess her year up.
What you want to do is go to MoJoWildRice.com.
Amen.
And then they've got all kinds of gifts for Mother's Day. They have a great Mother's Day basket that they've put together. It's a gift crate. The items were chosen because they are the very best of what they have, and nothing is too good for your wife, your mom, or your grandmother this year. Your wife, your mom, or your grandmother. She'll enjoy the maple syrup with its rich, naturally sweet flavor, full of healthy trace minerals. You ever done maple syrup shots? Those are so good. Accompanied by wild rice pancake mix for the perfect breakfast. And you got hazelnut honey. I went to school with her Deliciously addictive and great on breads of any kind or on hot cereals, tea or coffee. You have blueberry jam in there, and you have pure soy candle as well. Hand-poured, lead and dye-free with a fragrance to relax and soothe. So you see, you can find the perfect Mother's Day gift that she's not going to diss you for getting her. Just go to MoJoWildRice.com and make Mom happy this year.
Yeah.
Don't give her a toaster.
Or a Weight Watchers card.
Right, neither one of those.
Don't do that.
Or a yearly subscription to the Moo of the Month Club.
Oh, definitely don't do that.
No, bad idea.
Not just because you're saying, "Hey, I think you're fat," but also that you have bad fashion sense.
Moo
that you would wear a moo.
MoJoWildRice.com. I say we get to the headlines now. That's what I say.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
Shut your dirty whore mouth, player.
See, I got new stuff.
I love it. Oh, look at all this stuff.
Oh, and from yesterday?
Yeah. You got the It's a Trap.
I did.
It's a Trap. Yes.
See?
Oh my, what's drama? Can you press that one? Old Faithful, I call that one.
Yes.
Man.
No, I dated her in high school, too.
Oh, really? Old Faithful?
Oh, yeah. It was... What? She just showed up on time.
Well, you know, she was very old.
Jeez. She wasn't old then. She was in high school.
Well, why she was at a high school at that age, I have no idea. You know. But
She was hot.
but you know what? She showed up.
Got any stories about dolphins?
Not today. Today, I thought maybe I'd give everyone a break from the Dolphins. 5 headlines I have to read. One of them is a false screed.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. 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 You like that one?
Someone got a thesaurus for their birthday.
Ah. Sometimes I use my writer powers for good.
Superhero writer.
Let's go ahead. One of these is not true, and you have to decide which one. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't ruin it for everyone else. Okay, here we go. One military official is in trouble after suggesting that they name the new AH-68 attack helicopter that the military has now received after Elizabeth Warren.
They named Pocahontas?
The Warren...
Oh, that's boring.
Well, hang on. Here's why he's in trouble.
Oh.
The Warren will join the Black Hawk, Kiowa, Apache, and Lakota in the Army's impressive legacy of combat aircraft named after Native American tribes.
Wow.
Acquisition Corps spokesman Major Darren Snyder said that apparently a U.S. military official who will so far go unnamed until after the proceedings are done suggested in a hearing that they name the new AH-68 attack helicopter after Elizabeth Warren, mainly as a joke, but that it was inappropriate at the time.
Nobody has a sense of humor anymore.
Yeah.
Bunch of wusses.
Yeah. I actually feel sorry for that guy, because, I mean, it's a funny joke. Come on.
Yes.
We apparently don't have a sense of humor
No,
anymore.
we don't.
Sucks.
No, we don't.
Yoga does not make inmates gay, says Russian prison chief, as classes are reinstated.
That's a lie. It's a lie. We all know that's what does it.
Yep. It is the it is like a gateway. It's a gateway homosexuality.
Downward-facing dog will get you every time.
That's right. Russian prison authorities have reinstated yoga for inmates after dismissing a claim by a religious scholar that the practice could make them gay. Apparently, a Moscow pretrial detention center for women. When it's making women gay?
Say it was is it hot? But they're Russian women. Never mind.
Renowned Batirka.
Juan Batista.
Batirka. Prison is the Russian capital. Introduced yoga classes last year. Theological professor Alexander Dvorkin wrote a document suggesting that the activity could cause uncontrolled sexual arousal and homosexuality in detention centers. Look,
with women?
Apparently, it's a women's prison.
Okay.
So
I think they're going to. Well, I think we're going to need to do a documentary on this.
I think we're going to need some studies.
Yes.
Done. I think there's some science is going to have to happen here. We're going to have to actually do some tests.
Yep. This is going to require a field trip, Ron. Get a budget together. We're going to need some cameras. And
hang on. There apparently there was a study.
Damn it.
It says we conducted a study, and among those people who practiced yoga, there was a sharp reduction in visits to doctors for help. Oh, it makes you healthy?
See?
Man.
Yeah, I get follow the money. Gosh. It's always something.
You know what? It got my hopes so high.
Mm-hmm.
Ridgefield baseball field closed due to poor decision to douse it in gas, set it on fire.
How else do you get rid of the weeds?
Oh, it gets better. It was Saturday morning when families were gathered at the baseball field at Ridgefield High School. When the fire started burning, someone left the field and ran across the street to the police department. It had rained the night before. There was a scheduled baseball game, explained Captain Sean Platt.
Wait a minute. The field caught on fire and somebody ran to the police department?
Yeah, because...
Shouldn't you run to the fire department?
No, Brad.
Okay.
The police, because
all right,
they could arrest the fire.
I thought the firemen had bigger hoses.
Someone thought, apparently, that it would be a good idea to warm the field in time for the baseball game. And apparently they took 24 gallons of gasoline and poured it on the infield and set it on fire. Whose idea was it? No one's sure. No one's come forward.
Okay, so they poured it on the infield, on the dirt, and they lit it on fire.
In order.
All right, so did nothing else caught fire, right? Just the dirt was...
Apparently the gasoline soaked dirt had to be tested and removed, so they had to remove the entire baseball field.
Oh, because of
I guess poisoning.
Environmental.
Yeah.
Because if you eat the dirt or you go and you lick the bases, you get okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But all of this to dry the field, to make sure that it was dry for the game.
Did it work?
Well,
just saying.
It was definitely on fire, so I guess
can't condone it.
That's the opposite of wet.
But I can understand it. That's American ingenuity right there. It's like we have a problem. We don't have big heaters. What can we do?
Set it on fire.
Gas and a match.
Yep.
At least they didn't stand there and go, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What do you want to do?
They took action.
Somebody said, I've got gas. You got a match. Let's do this.
That's American ingenuity right there.
Science, bitches.
Let's see here. Remember the guy who took a cow into PetSmart?
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Guess what?
Uh-oh.
Man tests PetSmart policy, brings camel into store. When customers step into PetSmart, there are some animals they expect to see. However, a camel is not one of those animals. Lewis Farms and Petting Zoo took their camel Jeffrey for a stroll in PetSmart. Shoppers seemed...
I'm calling it. Yeah. Never mind. Keep going.
Shoppers seemed excited, as most had their phones out to record the unusual visitor. Last month, a man in Texas tested the store's all-leashed pets welcome policy center by bringing his 1,600-pound steer into PetSmart. So now that's become the meme, apparently.
Which, by the way, that could have ended very badly.
Mm-hmm.
You bring an animal with horns, with weapons, with a weaponized head.
Yeah.
Like that steer had.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have ended really differently.
Oh, for sure. It
that could have been like the
bull in a china shop.
Remember when the Georgia Bulldogs came here and they decided for the photo op between the bulldog and the steer? That didn't go quite as they had hoped that would.
I didn't hear that story.
Oh, you never saw that video?
Oh, that steer went straight after that dog.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would have been such, I mean...
that would have been a bad day.
Do you think it was like an old rivalry that suddenly took over?
No, it's a steer and a dog.
I think it was a steer and a dog.
But it was a bulldog, right? Because
Yes.
bulldogs are specifically designed to handle steers, and maybe the steer saw the bulldog and was like, my arch nemesis. This battle will be legendary.
Ugga doesn't know what the hell to do with a steer. That dog knows how to walk on the field and go, hey.
Ugga's entire job is quite literally to sit in a doghouse on top of a pile of ice. That
He's
is
from Georgia. What do they know?
And the steer said, look, a play toy.
Yeah.
He was going after that little bad boy.
That would have been some really bad video.
That would have been
And
horrible.
would have been priceless memes.
Yeah.
Here, Ugga on a stick.
Oh,
I mean, it could have gone really poorly.
Last headline. Virginity of Japanese adults is becoming a national concern.
Okay.
Around 1 in 10 Japanese in their 30s have never had heterosexual sex, but homosexual sex maybe? And the number of adults with no sexual experience is increasing, according to a new study based on national survey data. Comparable data from other developed countries indicates that Japanese adults tend to become sexually active later in life, and that a substantially larger portion remain heterosexually inexperienced into their 30s.
Well, now we know where the Muslims will get their 72 virgins.
Hey!
Thank you. Thank you.
The research is based on data from 7 rounds of National Fertility Survey of Japan carried out between 1987 and 2015, which is administered by a unit overseen by the Japanese Health Ministry. In 2015, 11.9% of women aged 30 to 34 and 12.7% of men in the same age group reported having no heterosexual experience, the data showed.
There's that word again.
Yeah, they keep saying heterosexual.
Well, I guess in a study, I guess you do have to be specific. I mean, somebody could have had sex with a car.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, yeah. Well, in Japan, they have relationships with digital people.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so maybe that's it. Maybe
that's why Lusty moved to the States. Just saying. Sorry, guy behind the glass, we keeping you up. Ron's in there yawning. I think we should move on.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
Are my headlines boring you, Ron?
It's not offensive if it's true.
No, I've already chosen my headline.
Oh, really?
He stopped listening 5 minutes ago.
Well, those are your headlines. We'll go ahead and go back through them. Army official in trouble after humorously suggesting they named the new attack helicopter the Elizabeth Warren. Yoga does not make inmates gay, says Western prison chief. Richfield baseball field closed due to poor decision to douse it in gas and light it on fire. Man tests PetSmart policy by bringing a camel into the store.
It's not a tumor.
And virginity of Japanese adults is becoming a national concern. Which one is the fake one? But first, Brad Staggs.
I think I know which one it is, and Ron's in there pondering, pontificating. If you haven't had your APR coffee this morning, I don't even know how you got out of bed, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I had I made the Burr Hamilton, and only because it was the closest thing to the coffee pot. Matlock says we have a bunch more underneath the counter in there. I can't find it. I want some more sexual chocolate.
It's in that drawer, dude. Right
That's
below
it?
the coffee
That's
pot.
all we got left?
I think so.
Whew. Somebody needs to place an order. Whose job is that, by the way? Is that one of the interns or one of the producers?
I'm pretty sure you just placed the order.
Oh, did I?
Just simply by saying it, because DM's just that good.
We'll have one of the producers get in touch with you. One of our interns. American Pride Roasters, home of the best coffee anywhere. And yeah, you can see on the website there, if you look for the different coffee blends, the Ron Sexual Chocolate, it is the image of Ron dancing with Leslie Gyllenhaal. That is classic. So you can. I wonder.
I have not seen that yet. I'm going there now.
It's right there. So I guess if you buy I don't know if you buy the coffee, if that image comes on it or not, but we'll see. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Buy some today, or you're stupid.
Yeah.
AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Idiot.
Okay, so I'm thinking that, Ron, my theory of me going first would make me right. Didn't work. So what do you think it is?
I think it's the Elizabeth Warren helicopters.
And I'm going with the guy bringing the camel into PetSmart.
Okay.
Because that would be stupid.
Let's see. Rocky with an Eye said, and Peekapool both think that the Warren helicopter story is fake. Let's see. I think Stephen English is all about the baseball field being lit on fire. I live in Ridgefield. That's not a fake headline, though. Up. Damn. See, I have too many listeners now. They're just all over the nation.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yoga leads to panty dancing, says Lori F&D, who posted a very fascinating GIF.
Who obviously knows.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right.
You ready?
Hit me.
You did that on purpose.
Did what on purpose? I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're saying. This is our drum roll. Are you ready? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, you did that on purpose.
All right, what's the answer?
Oh, are we done?
Yeah.
Sorry, I drifted off there for a second. Apparently, I made it very easy. The Elizabeth Warren headline is the fake one.
I'm 2 for 2, baby. 2 for 2 this week.
You know how much money I had to pay for all these sound effects? We're going to get our damn money's worth.
You couldn't have picked a shorter drum roll, at least with something with like
What's wrong with that drum
payoff
roll?
at the ending or something.
I could literally go to the restroom, come back,
You want a happy ending with the drum
still
roll?
be going.
Hell's wrong with you people? Jeez, can't you just accept what is?
I just wish that, you know.
So wait, okay, so so that means the guy did bring the camel to PetSmart.
Oh yeah, no, he totally brought the camel to PetSmart.
Camels are nasty.
There is literally a Facebook video of it going on right now.
Did he spit on anybody, or did he walk in going, "What day is it? What day? Mike. What day is it? I know you can hear me.
Huh?
It's hump day.
It's hump day.
They spit all over everything.
Yeah.
And people.
The whole virginity of Japanese adults might have been too easy because they don't have sex anymore.
No. Well,
Like,
they do, but just not with people.
It's literally a crisis over there. Like the birth rate has plummeted to a point where people are scared now.
That's because the guys all got tired of the constant blah 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 blah.
A lot of it, I think, at least for the Japanese, is from what I understand, their culture is not like our culture when it comes to marriage and stuff like that.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They have a different culture?
Yep.
Why
Yeah.
wasn't I informed of this?
I'm sorry, Brad. Apparently in this melting pot of racism that you live in, that is America.
Damn it.
But apparently, like, yeah, the all the stuff and the pomp and circumstance around marriage in Japan apparently is like a lot for them. And so they've just chosen, it's much easier, much safer to just kind of have sex with a digital girl.
Who hasn't known that for years?
Exactly.
I mean, you can have a meaningful relationship with a especially with today's sex dolls. Like, there's really not a good love mannequins. There's got to be a different word for a sex dolls. Just sounds so cheap and tawdry. Love mannequins.
Love mannequins.
I think that's a better idea. I think from this day forth, they are known as love mannequins.
I like that. That's good.
Dated her in high school, by the way.
Love mannequins.
Yeah. Old faithful. I don't know what we're doing next, but it's going to be something.
Yay!
Yeah, it'll involve words on your Daily Mojo.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Wow. Hey, guys, Ron Phillips from the Conservative Cartel. I want to tell you about a new weight loss product that's quickly becoming part of our MoJo 50 family. Okay, so it was launched by this Texas company who have taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. That's right. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. In a 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser, you remember that show? It showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. Rid-U-Zone, that's R-I-D-U Zone, contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. If you are struggling every day with cravings, try Rid-U-Zone. It makes it so much easier to control your appetite and not think about food all day. That's my problem. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com and enter code MATT. That's M-A-T-T. Again, that's riduzone.com. R-I-D-U-Z-O-N-E.com. Rid-U-Zone.
I got my
Mojo 50.
I got my mojo working out.
Live free.
I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working out. But it just won't work on you. I got my mojo working. But I just don't know what to do, y'all.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, first of all, you think that Joe Biden is going to get the nomination, right?
I think he's going to get the nomination. I think Matt Locke does not.
I can't believe I agree with Matt Locke. I'm $20, same as downtown.
Yeah,
$20 says he doesn't, because I'll take you on that one. $20. Ready for that bet?
$20.
$20. I will have to warn you that I had a bet with I think it was Stu. That Donald Trump would get the nomination, and
really?
I won. I mean, I don't know if you knew this, but I won.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Trump got the nomination and the W.
Okay, so $20 says,
$20. So yeah, Biden gets a nomination, you win. Anybody else gets a nomination, I win.
Sounds good.
All right,
we'll shake on it.
$20.
$20.
$200. $2,000.
What? Hang on, huh?
$20,000. Beto O'Rourke and his wife, the company that a web development company that they own, profited nicely. The candidate paid roughly $110,000 in campaign funds to the company that either he or his wife owned at the time. Public records show Beto for Texas said paid Stanton Street Technology
That's
Group
it, Stanton Street. Yeah.
$58,544 during the 2011-2012 election cycle, $39,000 during the 2013, and almost $10,000 in the 2015-16, and then another $32,000 in the 17-18 cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Is this wrong?
Yes.
Or is it?
Well, here the Stanton Street was his company.
Right.
Right. So he used that company at one point in time to also work with his father-in-law's company, a construction or development company. After using eminent domain to seize land from El Paso's poor. And he used both
Beto wouldn't do that.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Wow.
I'm sorry to break your heart. But no, it absolutely is true. So, yeah, he used eminent domain to seize land from El Paso's poor and then handed the land over to his father's company, his father-in-law's company, where he and Stanton Street Technologies, his company, assisted in the development projects that they undertook. And this was like a huge deal. It was, in fact, it pissed people off in El Paso so much that they held a recall election for O'Rourke after trying to make him answer for what he tried to do.
That lovable fuzzball. Why would they want him out of office?
Stealing land will piss you off real fast.
Yeah, that really does have a negative impact on your voter base.
Yeah.
With this web development company, I guess they were using the services, and it is legal. It's legal for them to pay a company that they own, as long as it's the actual cost of the services. You can't jack it up to like $500,000 for $10,000 worth of work.
Right.
But still seems a little dicey.
It's either illegal or it walks a fine line, and either way, it's probably not good. No matter how you look at it.
It's funny that these are the same people criticizing the president for having dealings and
yeah. But here's the thing: it's like you have to remember that I really feel like the unofficial motto of the Democrats is "It's okay when we do it."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of
it is. It's the Biden thing. The whole shooting match right there.
Yeah,
everything that he does. Oh, it's just Joe being Joe.
It's all right.
Just Joe being Joe. Have we reached a point now where we can't hug people?
Yeah, exactly.
We can't give them noogies.
Meanwhile, like the situation is reversed. It's like, oh my God, he's a rapist.
Yeah.
No, he's not. They get mad at people like Mike Pence for not sitting with women alone.
And not getting in an elevator with her
That's
alone.
apparently sexist. Joe Biden literally coming up behind women and underage women to gently talk in their ear or put them in right there. No, that's just Joe. Lovable old Joe.
That's just Joe being Joe.
Yeah.
But I don't know why anybody would be upset about that.
But Brett Kavanaugh is a rapist because someone said so.
Yeah. Well, he laid on top of her out of respect for the way she handled her rig. And let's see. Bernie Sanders has raised so far, $18.2 million?
Mm-hmm.
First 6 weeks of his campaign. You think you still think he's toast?
As far as
you think Biden's going to get the nomination.
I think O'Rourke is probably not. Here's my problem with O'Rourke. He seems like Obama like 2.0. Or more likely, I would say more like he's probably Barack Obama 1.5, I think.
Yes, I don't think he has the good sense.
No. There are two things. Like he does sound a lot like Barack Obama when he speaks. The only problem is that he still hasn't left behind some sort of unprofessionalism when it comes to the way he speaks and acts. He is also signing on to all the radical things that everyone else is because they feel like they have to in this new modern Democratic Party filled with radicals.
Right.
And on top of that, have you ever seen him in a debate? Like the one that he did against Ted Cruz, given it's Ted Cruz, you don't debate Ted Cruz. He's probably the single greatest debater. He's like a master debater.
There's a bell in there somewhere, yes.
Yeah.
But like Ted Cruz is he's like an encyclopedia.
Right.
It's the delivery that's a problem.
Right. I think that when it comes to being in a situation where you have to defend yourself and stand your ground and be tough, O'Rourke doesn't have. He seems to break down a little bit. Something happens to him. But lately,
it's called pressure.
Yeah, when the pressure's on, he's off, and that really I think is going to screw him up. And then also at the same time, he's trying to attract the radical support of the leftist party, but he's a white male. The only person who's really going to secure the radical vote there is either going to be one of two people. It's either going to be Kamala Harris or Bernie Sanders. But the problem with Bernie Sanders is that many people think that he's nice and radical, he's a socialist and yada yada yada, but he's also saying things that don't please them at all, like in the hard left social justice area. For one, reparations, not into it really. He thinks that reparations should come in a different form and not just cash payouts, which last time he was on Charlemagne the God's radio show, and they asked him straight up, what do you think about reparations? And he's like, cash payments to African Americans? And they were like, yeah. He was like, no. Because then we'd have to make cash payments to Native Americans.
Oh, we did. We gave them the reservations in the casinos.
But the other one is what he said it recently. Open borders. He's not for open borders, and it was actually a really surprising take because he took a really good economic stance.
This is Beto?
No, this is Bernie.
Oh, sorry, Bernie. Yeah. I heard Bernie saying that about the no on the.
Yeah, which is surprising because he was like there's millions of poor out there. Okay, and you're gonna open the borders to them. It's not gonna work at this time. And I was like, wow, that's very commonsensical of you to say. Like, that's crazy.
Was that your Bernie Sanders impression?
That was a very bad Bernie Sanders impression.
I want to make sure.
But still better than Steven Crowder's. But I love you, Steven.
It's better than Jason Sudeikis' Joe Biden, I'll tell you that.
But that's, he's got those two things going against him, and he's a white male. But so right now, Kamala Harris is, I feel like, the only one who can truly secure the radical vote. O'Rourke he was popular for a while because the media made him so. But if you really break down Beto O'Rourke, there's not really anything fancy going on about him. There's not really anything.
Oh, those arms moving, those are fancy. He's got
just
fancy.
One arm.
Yes.
Like seriously, he'll have his left arm just like. And then he has his wife that just stares at him the entire time.
And hold his right arm or hold his left arm down so his right arm can flail. I still think that I think he has a really good shot at getting the nomination. I think he has a really good shot, and
I will be absolutely surprised if he gets that. I will be absolutely surprised. I don't think the DNC. Because he's already lost against Ted Cruz, and he's
barely. They didn't expect to come nearly that close.
Yeah, but you got to think at this point there was already a loss after tons of media exposure and tons of media investment, tons of financial investment by all sorts of people around the United States. So at some point in time, they're going to go, okay, maybe despite the fact that we helped him that much and he still didn't win, maybe he's not the guy for us.
I don't think they expected to win. I don't think that was the goal. I think the goal was just to put his name on the map, to put his name out there in the public. And when they started getting close to him winning, they were like, oh, crap. Now what do we do?
Well, if that was the case, then how come like John Ossoff isn't around anymore? Because they did the same exact thing with him, and now they tossed him aside. The only problem is that John Ossoff wasn't in a position to run for president, so they didn't reinvest. So I think that maybe they are done with Beto, and I think that, or Francis, they're done with Francis.
Robert Francis
O'Rourke, and I don't see him really going any further than he is right now. In fact, he was at third in all the polls. And then the moment that Kamala Harris showed up on the scene on CNN with her town hall,
right,
he was gone.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's going to be Beto and Kamala.
You think it's going to be Beto and Kamala?
I mean, think about it. You got a 2-syllable name and a 3-syllable name.
I think it's going to come.
Beto and Kamala. You don't think that in this day and age that the campaign slogan, the way it sounds, is not a big part of what they do?
I mean,
what do you think of when you think of Biden?
I think
exactly.
I don't think of any. I mean, I honestly think it's going to come down to two people. It's going to come down to Biden or Kamala, and I don't know if Kamala is going to be the one, just strictly because the moderates don't like Kamala Harris, and everyone, with the exception of the radicals, can get behind can get behind Biden. And the radicals right now, they're loud, but they're not the majority.
Right.
You know. And I think the DNC, like I was talking about this to Matt Locke yesterday before his show. You know,
in a very loud voice.
We were yelling.
Mm-hmm. No, he was. You were just talking.
Well, he was talking too, but that's his. You know,
that's true.
That's just his voice. I think that, honest to God, you're going to have the DNC kind of watch what happens with the people and who wants to vote for who, and the DNC is going to see that most people lean toward Biden. And while many of the radicals are forcing a look at Kamala, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Biden, strictly because that's who the voters are more geared toward. And it has been that way for a very, very, very long time. Every single poll, even before the 2020 was actually in view, was who do you want to see run against Donald Trump? The answer was always Joe Biden.
Yeah, I just think that there's a whether or not he is a Beto.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is Robert Francis O'Rourke, but it plays well. It just plays well. Yeah. I think it's he and Kamala. We'll see. Time will tell.
We'll see. But I think it's going to be
a new study out has shown that activity alone as in exercise, independent of dietary changes, has the ability to alter gut bacteria by increasing short-chain fatty acids that are an integral part for not just gut health, but overall health. Gut health.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find one day that by harvesting the gut bacteria of somebody else, we can acquire superhuman powers.
That's actually how I have lived as long as I have.
You're a gut bacteria vampire?
I am actually. You can't see it, but I am actually 235 years old.
Where do you have to insert the suction hole to get the gut bacteria out?
Well, you know, really the easiest part is just the belly button, believe it or not. And that's, you know, people thought that, hey, yeah, that's just where the umbilical cord was. Well, what did the umbilical cord do? Remember?
Right.
It was there to put things in. So,
there you go. That should be a tap.
It really kind of is at the end of the day.
On and off.
Yeah. The only thing that really stops me from feasting on anyone is Entrantil.
You know, that's the funny thing is that if more people, I think, and if more gut vampires would just go to lovemytummy.com and learn about Entrantil, that they wouldn't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
If bloating and abdominal discomfort are problems for you, if you have these issues quite a bit in your daily life, it's about your gut bacteria. It's not normal. You should not be feeling bloated. You should not be feeling abdominal discomfort after you eat.
That's right.
It's a first-in-class nutraceutical. It's the only over-the-counter solution to bloating, powered by a 3-step method and a unique blend of Quebracho Colorado, horse chestnut, and peppermint extract.
I like the way you say that.
Thank you very much. Quebracho Colorado, horse chestnut. Hello, my name is Horse Chestnut. It was horse chestnut. You killed my father. Prepare to die. It was developed by a gastroenterologist, Dr. Ken, our very own Dr. Ken, who was right over on Spoonie on Thursdays. Right?
Yep.
Is it Thursdays? How come everybody else can remember that and I can't?
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
I knew that. Eastern? All times Eastern, right?
Yes.
I knew that. I hate that, but I knew that. It's not a probiotic. It is clinically proven. Go to lovemytummy.com and find out if Atrantil can work for you. What are the jackholes saying?
They're saying, Dan Maynard says, are you denying Cory Booker his Spartacus moment, Brandon? I am saying that life is denying Cory Booker his Spartacus moment. He has been denied his Spartacus moment for a long time.
The gods have conspired to deny Cory Booker his Spartacus moment.
He also called him Beta O'Dork, which is...
Whoa, that's not very nice.
That's cruel.
That's just mean.
Schoolyard bully stuff, Dan Maynard.
And then once, he did. I thought you meant Cory Booker did. I was going to say, right after, the candidates will call each other names right up until the nominations.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think he's probably the finest representative we could put in that position. It's pretty amazing that, I know we traded jabs, but I respect him. God, I get so sick of that every time.
Randy Lars said, O'Rourke looks like long-lost remains of a Kennedy affair. Randy wins.
He really
Randy wins.
He really does.
Bob Tiergarten said, based on Beto's mannerisms and arm flailing, I'm betting he's on coke or using Adderall. I could see that. See, you got to stay awake somehow. You got to wake. I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to judge him.
It's just the hand flailing. Yeah, I mean, if you get right down to it, at its base, it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You start getting somebody too close to you when you're hand flailing, and
I'm waiting for the first video of him, like he's at a rally surrounded by people and just accidentally smacks some poor woman in the face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's going to go everywhere. Everywhere.
You know what's going to happen. Pow! It's going to happen.
Yep. And if he was a Republican, they'd be like, oh, he beats women.
Yeah.
Brandon's Jackhole Cat said, I have an extra supply of protein, but it needs to be drawn out by suction only. So if Brandon is of... Oh. I shouldn't have read that.
As far as you can go?
That's about as far as I can go.
There you go.
National Z-Emergency said, I guess I should move to Japan in order to get some. There are apparently a lot of lonely women out there.
Well, how do we know it's not the women who don't want to have sex? How do we know it's the men?
Mm.
And isn't it funny how men have to have the whole doll, but women don't?
Yeah.
Think about
That's
it.
That's sexism right there.
It's true. How many women do you see with sex dolls?
That's also true.
Right.
But I would also say this. Like, I think, though, that, it's easier for men to be sexually gratified than it is for women. And so I think that...
what does it say? Women need a place and a reason. Men just need a place.
Exactly. Yeah. And women have that whole, like, emotions thing or whatever.
That's so nasty.
Yeah, I know. Do
not talk about gross stuff on this
So
program.
all American man has to do is go down to Japan, wine and dine a woman, and she'll be putty in his hands, man. Rocky with an eye said, I ordered some sexual chocolate, so I'll let you know if Ron and Lusty are on the package when I get it.
Well, we have the answer to that question.
Ron is he's pumping his fist right now. It's on.
That's his fist.
You can't go wrong with some sexual chocolate.
No, you can't. It's really actually a good blend from American Fried Roasters. I couldn't figure out which one he was doing that. Okay, what's going on with the Secret Service now?
I don't know. Yeah, read me the headline.
The head of the Secret Service is departing as part of the Trump shakeup at Department
the Secret
of Homeland
Service
Security.
is departing?
The head of the Secret Service.
Oh, okay.
The U.S. Secret Service Chief Randolph Texales is he's requested the removal of him as part of the broader shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security. Two sources familiar with the process have said the White House informed Ailes recently of his desire to remove him.
Mm-hmm.
A source told the paper news of Ailes' forthcoming departure comes as Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen was asked to resign by the president. Now, here's the thing. Randolph Texales has been on the job at the Secret Service for the last 2 years, and he has now, this is his 40th year of public service.
Wow.
40th
year. Wow.
Is it maybe not just that this guy's retiring? I mean, or he's got to be making a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, I would guess that if you're in the business that long, man, it's, I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't wait. I'd be like, yeah, it's 40, I'm out. Peace. I'm going on vacation permanently.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he want to be?
Yeah. I feel like maybe we're getting some stories here that aren't 100% accurate, which is actually something that it was a theme that I was talking about on one day, because you heard about like the whole thing that what was it? It was NBC News tried to do, or I think it was ABC,
right?
Where they tried to create a scandal out of nothing.
And they're good at that.
They're very good at that. And I think maybe this is another one of those things, if the Code Monkeys listening in, remember what I talked about, how they tried to create a scandal out of literally 3 tweets, 2 of them who were made by people with like maybe 25 followers.
But it worked.
But it worked. Like they had an entire Good Morning America segment about how like this scandal involving Jordan Peele's movie, like the lead actress used a disability to create the voice that she had.
Mm-hmm.
And people were mad, like, my disability is not your entertainment, that kind of thing. And like they were like, oh, she's facing backlash and there's this scandal. Oh no. And it ended up not being that at all. Like no one, like 3 people. They brought in like experts and they were talking to like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and all this stuff. But I feel like this is one of those things right here. It's like, oh my God, can you believe he's leaving? This guy is leaving because of Donald Trump. Maybe he's just retiring. Did you?
It could be.
Did you think about that?
the vacuum that was created by the conclusion of the Mueller report is an amazing thing. That vacuum keeps sucking stories in.
Yeah.
And processing them and spitting them back out.
It's going to be, I feel like this is going to happen for a while, though, because, I mean, like, they wanted it to be true so bad.
Oh, yeah. They still haven't given up. They still haven't given up.
No,
there's got to be something in that report.
Yeah, exactly. There's something. There's got to be, like, one of the blanked. I actually expected them to take one of the redacted things in there and just be like, and they're going to focus on every. What does this say?
Yep.
What does this say right here, huh?
Which is what they'll do.
This is why do they leave that out? We want the full report.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
My favorite thing right now is, like, they're asking for the entire report to be released to the public, and
but they know that it can't be. Well, they have to know that it can't be. So as long as they just keep that narrative alive, that there's something in there, we got to have it. They know it cannot be released without certain information removed.
Well, I mean, right now Mueller is looking like for a way to release it, like without because I mean, you can release it, but you have to release it in a certain way, and they're trying to find the best way to do that. The great part about this is that as the Democrats are basically putting up. What essentially are like, it's all show, of course. It's like, give us the public. The public deserves to know. We want transparency. And it's like, no, you don't want transparency. You're just putting up a fight right now, knowing full well that they can't release it immediately like you want.
Right.
But the other thing is like, these are obviously like, these aren't like bills or like demand. These are resolutions, they're trying to pass about releasing it, which is basically
sounds important.
Yeah, it sounds important, but it's not. But I like the fact that Rand Paul, I love Rand Paul, man. I love the fact that it only takes one senator to kill a resolution, just one. And Rand Paul has been that one guy, alongside Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell for various other reasons. But
hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Which I got to say, there's been an incredible turnaround with Lindsey Graham.
I just, one day I just found balls, and now I'm just.
I think
now I'm like I'm your favorite senator now.
He's inhabited by the ghost of John McCain, I think is what's
Maybe
happening.
That's what it is.
It's a pretty amazing transformation.
It was a pretty great, yeah, man.
And he's not stopped. He keeps getting out there and throwing punches left and right.
Oh, for sure, and I love it. But Rand Paul is stopping it from happening because he's like, I'll agree to release these reports to the public if, and only if, you give me all the communiques and information and documents from the 2016 election of the Obama administration to various other entities such as the Hillary Clinton campaign. You give me those, and I'll agree to this. And naturally, the Democrats are suddenly like, we want sort of transparency. That's...
Well, and somebody drew a parallel between this and the Dianne Feinstein thing with she had the limo driver for 20 years who was a Chinese spy essentially. So what did they do? They just got rid of the spy. They told her about it and done.
Yeah.
Why, if they had feared that there was a Russian infiltrator in the Trump campaign, why didn't they inform Donald Trump and then get rid of the guy?
And also, how come quite literally we have proof that Hillary Clinton worked with the Russians?
Right.
And
that's why this thing's such a farce.
Why are we not focusing on that? That's very interesting to me.
It certainly is.
There sure is a lot of stuff that the Hillary Clinton campaign and Barack Obama administrations did that we still don't know anything about because no one is fighting tooth and nail to get to it.
Well, and we talked about, Chris Salcedo and his petition to bring, needs 100,000 signatures, and we've promoted it. Chris has been on the program. We've tweeted out the link to the petition. It's on Chris Salcedo's website. You can click on it. It needs 95,000 more signatures. We're almost 10 days into April, and we've got 5,000 signatures.
Wow.
So no one seems to be, 5,000. But we need another 95,000 to get this thing signed to bring some accountability to the Obama era administration.
Yeah.
And so if we can't get 100,000 people to sign this thing, then we deserve what we get.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's sad, really, when you think about it.
I'm all for transparency, with the exception of if it puts our nation in danger, obviously.
Sure.
But I feel like I don't have to feel like it. I know this. There's only really one-sided. There's a one-sided thing here. Like everyone wants transparency when it comes to what the Republicans are doing, because maybe it'll get Donald Trump in trouble.
Isn't that funny how that works?
But no one wants to know if there was any illegal activity or unfair activity happening on the Democrat side. Because once again, what did I say earlier? Their unofficial motto is, it's okay when we do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to.
It's true. That's absolutely true. It's a shame and it's pathetic, but that's exactly the way. When you have one side, now if I say this, I'm going to get in trouble because the Republicans aren't playing. I'm going to say when you have one side playing by the rules, but I'm not even going to say the Republicans play by the rules. The Republicans just never. They refuse, first of all, to band together.
Yeah,
and they refuse to fight fire with fire.
Yeah, I think, well, that was really hardcore during the Bush administration. I think that's changed now that Trump is in charge, but it's still kind of like, I see what you're saying here. There's still not this like, I want to say this push, this
Democrats will get in the mud. Democrats will get down in the mud.
This enthusiasm to be as nasty as Democrats are, that's not there.
And I'm not saying it's right.
In a way, I'm happy about that because Democrats will pull out all the stops. They will break all the rules and they will be as unfair as possible in order to give themselves an advantage. And I don't want to be I don't want to be allied with a party that was willing to do that because I mean that's just
make a right.
Exactly. But at the same time, there does need to be a certain level of, hey, you guys are cheating. We know you're cheating. You're doing wrong. And we're going to do everything in our power to expose you. We don't care what the media says. All right. We don't care if there's protests marching down the middle of D.C. against it. We're going to find out what's going on. And when the truth comes out, we're going to do our best to spread it around and make sure the people know exactly who you are and what you're doing.
Rub your nose in it.
Exactly.
You have a 401k? Okay.
I don't.
I don't either. Beth does. She found actually she found out that she had a surprise one.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprise! You have a 401k.
She did. Well, she found out. She talked to Jake at Era Capital Management, and he found her like 2 others.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't even know I had these, and there was money in it. It was like a nice surprise.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of talking to Era Capital Management. Jake and the team over there can actually look for stuff like that. They can look for 401ks. They can find these orphaned 401ks. Is that a better word now, orphaned?
You can use it.
Please, sir, may I have some more food?
Yeah, that works.
So if you would like, maybe you've got some found money coming your way. I don't know. It's possible. But the place you want to start is Era Capital Management. You can call them. You go to the website. That's the easiest. By the way, it's capital with an A, not an O. I always get those confused.
Yeah.
An O is the Capitol building.
Yes.
So just think of O when you think of a building and A when you think of money. That's easier to think of it. I mean, isn't it? Doesn't that make it easier?
That makes it a lot easier.
You got the disclaimer. AirCapitalManagement.com, right?
Yep, that's it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
I knew it. Your Dana Mojo continues next.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. For the first time since he got the Mueller report, Attorney General Barr will testify on Capitol Hill. He goes before a House panel this morning.
Barr will be at a budget hearing before a Democrat-led House subcommittee, where he's expected to face a flurry of questions over the special counsel's report. So far, Barr has released just a 4-page summary and is expected in coming days to issue a redacted version of the full report, while President Trump has seized on Barr's summary as clearing him of any collusion or obstruction. Democrats want to see the full thing and decide for themselves without Barr's filter, saying his summary has raised more questions than answers. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Decision day for Israelis going to the polls in parliamentary elections. They'll decide whether to give Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a 5th term in office. President Trump sits down with Egypt's leader at the White House today.
For the second time while in office, the president welcomes Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the White House. There's plenty on their agenda, including Mideast tensions, security, economic reform, and human rights. The White House says the meeting will focus on building robust military, economic, and counterterrorism cooperation. But human rights groups are unhappy with al-Sisi's treatment of political prisoners and religious minorities, including Christians. Greg Clugston, Washington.
More about the Chinese woman who bluffed her way past security at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Authorities searched her hotel room and say they found a device that detects hidden cameras, half-dozen cell phone SIM cards, and 9 thumb drives, along with thousands in Chinese and U.S. currency. Brexit talks on tap today between British Prime Minister Theresa May and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 66 points, NASDAQ futures 20 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You get great service and you do some good in the world with Patriot Mobile. Sign up for a Patriot Mobile account today. Start saving money, get great coverage, and do a little bit of good because they support companies, organizations, and candidates that you like. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. patriotmobile.com/doc.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Matt and Ron. Weekday afternoon. MoJo 50.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches. The mothership has landed.
All right, let's. We were waiting for Ryan Bertuzzi to call us. He's the founder of GatCrank.com. And if you have not seen this thing, how would you describe it?
I would,
Brandon Morse.
I would describe. Remember back in World War II when they had the old Gatling guns that you had to crank in order to fire?
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine they brought that back, but for like it's an attachment that you can give to your gun that will act the same way. You just crank it and it's pop, 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 pop.
It's interesting. You want to take that there full screen for the folks in the video chat
room?
Special
video listeners.
Special video listeners. It goes. It's a device that attaches to the trigger guard.
Yeah.
And it has a handle extending out to one side. And as you turn this handle, it's attached to a camshaft, basically, an offset camshaft that, as you turn it, it has the lobes on the camshaft press against the trigger and fire the trigger or pull the trigger, depress the trigger on the rifle.
Yeah.
So in order to pull the trigger on the rifle, you turn the handle and the lobes of the camshaft pull the trigger for you.
Yeah.
Now, the benefit of this is that as you turn that handle, one revolution will give you 3 cams that touch the trigger. So one revolution will go boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 which was essentially the idea
There's
behind
a video if you want to run that.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a video down below.
You know what? I just like describing it. Was I not describing it well enough for the two of you? I didn't hear either one of you jumping in. All right. So, yeah, and is there sound on this thing? I don't think there is sound. So, yeah, as you turn the handle, it essentially fires the gun 3 times per revolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like
it'd be pretty fun to use, but hard to aim with.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like you would, that is more of a spray and pray type of device, I would say. So if you're hunting hog and you're like, in a huge If you're looking at a huge,
right? Well, and again, I don't know that I don't think you're going to take this thing target shooting. I don't think that's the idea. I think the idea is it's kind of like putting. It's a gadget. It's fun. It's because I can. That's why.
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to put it. I like it. It's a because I can kind of device.
Because I can, and guys like gadgets. I tell you, who would love this is Iraqi veteran 8888.
Yeah,
Eric, the guy who runs that. I'll bet. I'd be surprised if he hasn't already taken this out and tested it. So anyway, I thought we were going to be talking to Ryan Bertuzzi, the founder of Gat Crank, because they may be coming on board as an advertiser, which I think is kind of fun.
Neat.
So we'll just move on, and when Ryan calls, we'll talk to him. But in the meantime, until we get our official open for your rant session here, let me think.
I would.
How about this one?
Shut your dirty whore mouth, player.
Probably not the best intro for your
my
rants.
Yeah, but you know what? No, in a way, maybe it's the best.
Shame.
There it is.
Shame.
There it is. Just all those together.
Yeah. So what are you railing against today?
So, Fight for 15, huh? Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. The Fight for 15 crowd, if you don't know who they are, they're the same people who you'll find out in front of McDonald's or Walmart or something along those lines.
They're one more than the Fight for 14 crowd.
Yeah, they were like, we need to take this up to 11 by going to 15.
This one goes to 11.
New York's minimum wage hike. By the way, this is up at redstate.com right now, if you want to follow along with me.
Fresh, hot off the press.
From yesterday. New York's minimum wage.
Still warm. That's all that matters.
It's still warm. New York's minimum wage hike had the devastating effect economists predicted.
Okay, say that one more time.
New York's minimum wage hike had the devastating effects economists predicted.
So, in other words, everything they said was going to happen happened.
Exactly.
And there you have it.
All right, experts have all predicted what would happen should the minimum wage be increased, and every time the Fight for 15 crowd gets its way, prices are hiked and jobs are lost. Predictably, New York is currently learning this lesson the hard way. According to the New York Post, a once-growing service industry in New York is now seeing staff cuts, hours being shortened, and prices going up thanks to New York's $15 an hour minimum wage hike, and it's not small. A total of 76.5% of full-service restaurant respondents reduced employee hours, and 36% eliminated jobs in 2018, the survey said. Also, 75% of limited service restaurants respondents reported that they will reduce employee hours, and 53% will eliminate jobs in 2019 as a result of the wage increases, according to the survey.
Can I interject for a
Please,
second? I want to make sure that I understand that by having to pay, when you have a budget of, let's say, $100,
right,
and you're going to run your business on this, just for hypotheticals.
Yeah.
So you got $100, and you have to pay, let's say, 2 employees for an hour at $15 an hour. That's $30. You're only going to have $70 left in your $100 budget to, like, for materials, supplies, rent, that sort of thing. Right. So you're going to have to find a way to stretch that money to make it efficient. So you're going to have to cut some stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Or you're going to have to raise prices on your customer.
Wow.
Make the customer pay for it.
Profit whore.
And here's the thing. It's like all of these statistics and stuff aren't just statistics. These aren't numbers. These are people. These statistics, these numbers are people who have lost their jobs or cannot work as much now. You know, despite the fact that they might have gotten a wage increase, their hours have been cut, so it almost doesn't matter. And even in some cases, the wage increases have resulted in them working less hours than they would have worked and made with the lower amount of money. If that makes any sense.
It does. I mean, if they're having to cut back their hours, so they're not working as many even at the higher rate. If you work 2 hours at 15 instead of 5 hours at 8?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. If you carry the one, you're making less money.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. Multiple studies have been done to tell us that this is a bad idea, right? Including one done by the Employment Policies Institute, who took a survey of economists all over the United States. Y'all, 74% of the economists said that raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is a bad idea. And they don't have to just have a forecast in front of them in order to make this, in order for them to understand that it's a bad idea. Like a simple economics degree would have told them. Shoot, not even just a degree. All right? You can just, by nature, by logistically thinking this one out, knowing that if you have to pay people more, then somewhere, somehow, since money doesn't grow on trees, somebody's gonna have to hurt because of it. Be it either the customer or the employee.
Since when does money not grow on trees?
Well, we did some studies after Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her Green New Deal. We were like, we need to plant more trees. Well, how about the money tree? So they went out and tried to see if they could find a money tree, and it turns out that one does not exist. Yeah. But here's the other thing. You don't even have to have a forecast. You can have examples in front of you of how it doesn't work. All right? Examples include Whole Foods. Whole Foods in various places raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour. Suddenly, a whole bunch of people found that they were working a whole lot less and not getting the same pay that they did before. This is the problem. Red Robin had to fire busboys from 150 different locations because of the minimum wage hike. Starbucks was not. They had to close down 150 stores.
Well, and let me tell you, by the way, at Whole Foods, you had to take out a second mortgage to shop there to begin with.
It's called a whole wallet.
Wow.
And Chipotle. Chipotle's another example, by the way. Whole nother example. Chipotle, they raised their minimum wage. And guess what? A whole bunch of people had to get fired, and then they had to raise the prices on customers. This does not happen. And so New York right now is suffering big time. Big time. A whole bunch of people losing their jobs or getting their hours cut, or customers are having to pay a lot more now in the service. This sucks. This sucks, but this is what happens when you raise the minimum wage up. The minimum wage is not for getting rich. It's not for having a livable wage. It is minimum wage. It is a job that anyone could do. The whole point of having a minimum wage is that you start at the bottom and you work your way to the top. You climb the ladder. That's how this works. All right? But I'm sorry. If you are doing a job that anyone could do for minimum wage, then you probably don't deserve more than making maybe even $7.50. I know that sounds cruel, but life sucks, and it's not. And that's not. Again, this is not. Minimum wage is not a stopping point. It's a going off of point. All right, climb the ladder, but and don't sit there and demand that you be paid a salary that is fit for a middle wage and with a own home and family and stuff like that, because you're flipping burgers or working at the fry-lator. Okay, it doesn't work like that.
Are you saying you don't have to have special skills to flip a burger?
No, unless if you have an arm you can use, you can twist it like that.
I mean, I saw the equivalent to that. A Cocktail with Tom Cruise. I mean, he was the bartender of Burger Flippers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about that. You've got to. I mean, it takes some talent. It's athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have, and some of them get really good. They can do it in the air.
Yes.
Yeah. They deserve at least $10 an hour.
If you can entertain the crowd with your burger flipping, do it. Not kidding. I mean, if you think about that. Think if you were a burger flipper at a restaurant in Manhattan and people came from miles around to watch you as you flip burgers 4 feet into the air and caught them behind your back, that sort of thing.
Right. That's fun.
I mean,
but that's performance art at that point,
right?
You know, like but, you're putting on a show,
right? But then you could, in theory, you could charge more for the food because you'd have a bigger crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's supply and demand. Yeah, you create more of a demand for what you got, and you can raise the prices on it.
Exactly.
But to just be the, I'm going to flip this up, and nobody's watching. No one cares.
Here's the funny part. While so they brought this up, the New York Post tried to bring this up to New York's mayor,
right,
Bill de Blasio. His office would not get back to the New York Post. They refused to answer, right, when they presented these statistics to them.
Yeah.
But you know who did answer? The governor's office, Andrew Cuomo. This is what they responded with. And notice what they don't say more than what they do say, right? All New Yorkers deserve to make a living wage, and under the governor's leadership, more minimum wage workers than ever before have received an increase in their wages. The fact is that increasing the minimum wage puts more money in pockets of hardworking New Yorkers, which creates more demand for local businesses and increases economic activity. What did they not mention? What did they conveniently not talk about? All the New Yorkers who are now jobless. All the New Yorkers who are now jobless in an economy where they have to pay more for the product. that they previously used to serve to people.
They're forgetting it's the chicken and the egg thing. It's the theory being you pay the people more money so they have more money to go out and buy stuff. They have more money now to go buy a dress or or another hamburger somewhere or a bicycle.
Yeah.
So you got all of these new businesses coming in and setting up shop because of all this money that's flooding the market because of this higher wage.
Right.
They're forgetting that they've just choked the chicken.
Yeah, essentially that's 100% accurate.
They've strangled the chicken.
Yeah.
The chicken can no longer lay eggs.
Exactly. They are proud of the fact that they have increased the minimum wage for some people is what it boils down to. It is only some people who get to enjoy this. And even those people who still get to enjoy this minimum wage, this hike in it, they're having their hours reduced. That is by 74%, if I'm not mistaken, 76.5%, sorry. 76.5% of employees in New York in the service industry have had their hours reduced because of this, which means they're either making the same amount of money for doing less work, which, that's great, but it also means that many of them are making far less because they had to have their hours cut so far. All right? This is utterly asinine. This does not work. Stop trying to increase the wage. The minimum wage is not there to be increased. It is there as a jumping off point. All right? It is hurting people. Right now, Seattle is suffering because of it. All right? I think it's the entire state of Minnesota. Minnesota is hurting because of it. All right? And no one's free from it. And you know what happens? Here's the other thing. That I swear, in this day and age, I'm surprised that no one ever considers this. If you actually go in and say, hey, I'm an employee, I'm a human, I deserve to have a living wage, spike it up to $15 an hour. Some corporations who can get away with it or who have the capacity to do so are going to go, okay, here's your $15 an hour minimum wage. Also, we're going to fire a lot of your friends. We're going to fire a lot of your coworkers and replace them with machines who can do your job. Because these machines, they only break down randomly. But they're not going to be complaining. They're not going to take sick days. They're not going to be asking for wage increases. All the customer has to do is come up, okay, and press a few buttons, and then they get their order served to them. We don't need you. If you're gonna throw this big of a temper tantrum, if you're gonna throw this big of a fit, if you're gonna make a big deal out of how much we pay you, then guess what? We don't have to pay you. We can get rid of you and replace you with an automated system. It's that easy. McDonald's has been doing it now actually for years. Slowly but steadily replacing a lot of their employees with machines. And they won't be the last company to do that. Trust me, machines in the long run are probably going to be a cheaper investment. You really only need people who can fix them.
Yes. Yeah, you will need repairmen.
You will need repairmen, but I mean, that's cheaper. It's cheaper to pay one repairman.
Well, like I said before, if you learn how to fix stuff, you will always have a job.
Yep.
That's right, son. You learn how to work with your hands, you'll always be employed.
Exactly. But that's the lesson today is, look, and this is simple economics. If you demand someone give you more, they're going to have less to give out to something else. So if you are demanding that they pay you an increase in your minimum wage, at some point someone is going to suffer. Either it's going to be you, yourself, who is going to be working less hours, which could result in one of two things. It's like a gamble. Either you get less hours in the same pay, or you get less hours and smaller pay because everyone else has to have that same hike and they have to compensate for that. Either way, your situation is not improved at all.
No.
All right? And you've basically destroyed the lives of other people who need that wage. Okay? But not on top of that, I'm sorry, if you are demanding that more money be paid to you for doing a minimum wage job, and let's say that all of you get to keep your jobs, then the money has to come from somewhere, and it's going to come from the customer. You have officially raised prices on the customer who's going to go, man, I used to pay, what, $6 for this? Now it's $10. But I can get it $6 at this other store. Guess I'll go to this other store.
Made in China.
Now your business is losing money. And if you lose money, well, money doesn't grow on trees, as we previously found out. Their company's going to have to cut back because of all the money loss. You might lose your job after all. This is just plain economics, folks. This is basic economics.
Roz is on the phone, by the way. She, Roz, what do you? The note says benefits lost on a $15 an hour wage.
I am inner city, as you all know.
Yep.
So you have a young lady with 3 children working at Burger King for minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
She is also getting food stamps, something that's called PIP on her utilities, which gives her a break. She could be living in subsidized housing. She's getting Medicaid. She's getting daycare.
Mm-hmm.
When she goes from our current minimum wage of $8.35 an hour to $15 an hour, and she keeps her same hours, she loses all of that. How is she ahead?
She's not. I mean, that's just it. I mean,
they aren't telling people this.
Right.
They just automatically think that the government is going to raise the poverty level that governs how much you get on these benefits.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
It's the optics.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is the optics of everything. And these people think that they're actually doing something good by getting wage increases, but they don't understand that money just doesn't come from a vacuum. It doesn't come out of nowhere. You know, there's a circulation of money that has to happen. And if you kill the golden goose to get the egg, then everyone loses.
It's a chicken.
Right. The golden goose, there's no more golden eggs coming.
Exactly.
So the thing is, they don't understand this, and you would be absolutely surprised at how many activists, local activist heads I have turned with showing how much it's going to cost. The people they say they're trying to help.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Roz. Yep. I'm sorry. Did you have something else? I'm up against the clock.
No,
as they
that's
say.
it, guys. Oh, except for one little thing.
Yes.
Brandon, it's the first time I speak to you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you, too.
You just don't know him that well.
I'll talk to you guys
Stop,
later.
Brad. She likes me right now. Stop it.
Bye, Roz. Thanks
Hey,
for calling. Sorry, quick trigger finger there. It's the law of unintended consequences, which usually is what happens on the Democrat side of the equation. Everything that their intentions are usually 180 degrees off of what the result of their actions is.
Yeah, that is sad reality. Look at Antifa is a perfect example of that too, because they fight for all of this stuff. The fight for 15, the anti-fascism, the future is female nonsense, and yada yada yada. And
future is hot females.
Not according to the social justice warriors, but anti-fascists. They end up being the fascists that they hate. That's just how they roll.
Right.
That's a perfect example of what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk about saving jobs in this country. You want to talk about celebrating jobs in this country. You want to talk about good old American companies.
Yeah, boy.
Cat coolers.
Yeah, boy.
Made right here in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's a little steer in every one. There's a little cowboy in every one.
I was going to say. There's a tiny cow that you can get inside each, and it's alive.
Got a little cowboy in you?
You want some?
Would you like some? If you go to Cat Coolers, you will see the myriad. And by the way, and I did not. I have to admit ignorance here. I didn't realize they had such good tips on their website about getting the most out of your cooler.
Yeah.
For instance, you should pre-chill your cooler. I mean, it's common sense stuff. When you think, why didn't I think of that? Like take a gallon jug of water and freeze it, and then stick it in the cooler 12 to 24 hours before you load it.
I was actually going to ask, how do you pre-chill?
That's how. I was thinking you put it outside in the snow.
I was thinking well, yeah, but like what? You don't have a fridge large enough to hold one, and it's summer outside.
You just plug it in.
Yeah, you just plug in your cooler.
And the other thing, minimize the amount of open space in the cooler. So like when you are filling it up, it's not a good idea to have air pockets because it's hard for the thermal transfer. across the air pockets.
Yeah.
So everything should be touching.
Okay.
You can put Joe Biden in there and
everybody should be touching in there.
Yeah. It's one big happy family when you put everything into a cat cooler. And again, you're supporting American jobs.
Yep.
American way of life.
Yep.
And as long as you don't get the camo version, because that is lost all the time.
You know, everyone's going to start buying the camo version just to spite you.
They lose. I mean, even on the assembly line, when they're making the camo versions, they're like, I thought we had.
If you look at their numbers on the little charts thing they check off, whenever, like it's all over. They have no idea because they just don't see them.
They don't see them, and people trip over them. So it's kind of a tragedy.
But the problem is that whenever you take one out to go hunting,
right?
I shouldn't say a problem. It's a problem for the deer.
Yeah.
You can literally set out in the middle of the field and they'll be walking around and they'll just trip
trap.
over it. And then, and it's crazy because,
they'll ice themselves. You trip a deer right into the...
close it up.
And it ices itself.
The tiny cow will take care of it inside.
Yep. And the cowboy. Just saying. Go to catcoolers.com. Find the selection that you can choose from. The white, the black, the yellow, the camo. Again, unless you want to use it, don't get the camo. But use promo code Brandon. You'll get 10% off. Catcoolers.com. Promo code Brandon. So, Jack Hole's with us on the, because some of them have common sense, except that one guy.
Yeah, he sucks. I hate that guy.
Both Congress and minimum wage jobs are not supposed to be a career plan for life. This is MoJo country.
Dan Maynard said, hell, even low IQ Hillary was against the $15 minimum wage. I'm actually curious how she feels about that today. Because, as you know, Hillary and many of the Democrats who are they're pander bears. They're expert pander bears. I'm pretty sure that given enough time and pressure, Hillary would be like, "Oh, I love $15 an hour."
It's the hey kids, you want some candy? I got candy for you.
Yeah,
it's an unlimited supply of candy. Come on over here and get it. That's all it is. And then all they have to do is keep kicking the can down the road.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
As long as they keep kicking it down the road in 10 years when the other businesses have gone out of... they went out of business for economic reasons, not because of minimum wage, blah, 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 blah.
Fools, all of you.
Yeah.
Fools.
Yeah, not like us.
Yeah,
this is your Daily
smart.
Mojo. Yeah, we are smart.
So smart.
We are so smart.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, Freedom. MoJo 50.
One of the greatest sacred cows of both parties in Washington, D.C. is education spending. Dare to propose cutting spending, let alone dare to suggest the return of the money to the states in the first place, and see what happens. Most of the rhetoric surrounding education spending at the national level is all about the education gap between poor and affluent students. Yet, I have heard next to no one ask if the spending is meeting the stated goal. A group of researchers has decided to do a deep dive into achievement amongst socioeconomic groups, and the results suggest we've been wasting our money for the better part of 50 years. A National Bureau of Economic Research study points out that the educational achievement gap has not changed between the bottom 10th percentile and those who are in the top 90th percentile of socioeconomic statuses in the past 50 years. What about all the money spent then? Well, the United States has quadrupled payments in real dollars on a pure pupil basis between 1960 and 2015. We've also seen a decline in student-teacher ratio from 22.3 to 16.1, and nothing has changed. Board students remain 3 to 4 years behind the top 90th percentile. Even worse, the study also points out that those born since the 1950s have not seen a noticeable uptick in achievement scores, regardless of their percentile rank. I'll just leave this observation from the research as my parting shot. Perhaps more disturbingly, the U.S. has introduced and expanded a set of programs designed to lessen achievement gaps through improving the education of disadvantaged students, but they individually and collectively appear able to do little to close gaps beyond offsetting the probable decline in teacher quality in schools serving lower SES students. If this isn't the definition of governmental insanity, I don't know what is. I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on all the socials at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily Mojo.
You know who Brooke Mueller is? Brooke Mueller is Charlie Sheen's ex-wife.
Oh,
she's
really?
Hot. Brooke Mueller's hot. I mean, there she is right there.
She's a pretty woman.
She's an attractive one, aside from the fact that she has no taste if she was married to Charlie Sheen, but that's beside the point.
How many people did Charlie Sheen have?
18.
8. Okay, great.
We lost count. She missed her flight from L.A. to Miami on Friday because the TSA examined her for an hour. She has 10-year-old twin boys with Sheen. They, I don't know that they were with her. She has a documented history of cocaine abuse. She's been in and out of rehab, but she says she's been sober for a year. She says they strip searched her more than once. They combed her hair, looking for who knows what, and kept sending her bags back and forth. She says it was harassment.
Did they invite Joe Biden too?
They might have. Well, that's the good news is Joe Biden will always have a job with the TSA.
That's so weird.
She says they swiped their hands so many times with those cloths in the bottom of her feet. An hour later, of course, they found nothing because she's sober and doing well. TSA spokesperson said TSA pat-downs are conducted by officers of the same gender as the passenger. Oh, so what?
Yeah, no, who cares?
So what in gender identity days here?
Mm-hmm. Did they assume their gender?
Right.
That's not very progressive.
Well, and who gives a crap now? Let's say you've got a gay man being patted down by a male.
Yeah, then that's
okay. He's enjoying. So the gender, whatever. In addition, TSA does not ask travelers to remove their clothing for pat downs.
Not anymore, at least,
unless they're hot. TSA is focused. Well, remember they just had the machine do it for them prior to this. Remember the naked machine?
Oh yeah, yep.
TSA is focused on threats to aircraft security and does not look for drugs.
Here's the thing about the TSA. They have a 98% failure rate.
What are you? I mean, you expect them to be perfect?
People have literally like strapped guns and bombs to their back. These are not like people. I should say like, you know, the Department of Homeland Security testing teams will strap various things to parts of their body and then just walk on through. No big deal. And they'll be like, yeah, did you not notice the bomb on my back? And they're like, now, why are you a thing?
You know what gets them every time? Cargo shorts. Cargo shorts and a sweaty back. If I've gone through and it's like my back will be, sir, we got to pat you down in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Sometimes sweat messes up the machine.
Really?
Alrighty. We got to pat your shorts down here. Yeah, I can't see through the 2 layers of cloth on cargo shorts.
Apparently. Okay, great. So we're spending billions of dollars on machines that see through our clothing but can't see through cargo shorts will be the
gets them every time. Wear the cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts will be the death of everyone.
Did Doc call them the Rapascans?
Oh, that's because they're called Rapascans. That's the name of them. No, that's the name of the machine. RAPISCAN.
Oh, no way.
Rapascan.
Rapascan. That's
I thought that was just a joke.
Nope.
Wow.
That's crazy.
When I had the foot surgery and I had the plastic cast on or the plastic boot, and when I left here going to Florida for a job, I couldn't take the boot off. That's what I told them. The doctor had said, don't take the boot. And the doctor did say, don't take the boot off.
Right.
Because bones are healing in there and so forth. And so I told the guys at TSA, well, you got to take, my doctor told me not to take the boot off.
Yeah.
All right, sit down. I sit down. They run the boop, 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 all over the metal detector, boop, 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 and they come down to the bottom of it, boop. And I said, oh, I've got screws in my foot. Oh, okay. Any screw in the human body is going to be like titanium, so it's not going to set off the metal detector. And B, you could see the screws on the boot.
Yeah.
So it said, pay no attention to the screws right there on the boot. And then after they boop, 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 he took his 2 gloved hands and patted the boot down.
Seriously.
He's like, I didn't say anything because I thought, I'll just get through this. But it's like, what are you expecting to find exactly as you pat my boot like a trap door?
Yeah.
Aha! I had my foot surgically removed. I've got the entire boot filled with cocaine. Damn it. You found me out.
What? Thank God.
And then on the way
TSA, welcome, hero.
On the way back, they refused to not let me take. Well, then you're gonna miss your flight.
Seriously.
So I dodged. So I'll admit I played it up a little bit. I was like, guy says, I need to take the boot. Okay, fine. So he's taking the boot off my foot. I'm going, ow! And people are walking by. Of course, they look like asshats because they're poor guy sitting here with a boot on his foot, and obviously.
Yeah.
And then they oh, sorry. It's okay. Just be careful. Boy, they hated me that day.
Good job, Brad.
And let me tell you, that was nothing compared to traveling with Doc Thompson in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
When he got through the TSA, oh, Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
It was always have your phone ready because he was a show.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, anyway. There
you know what? I cannot go through the TSA line without bitching. I can't. I hate them so much.
I've met a few nice agents, and
I've met a few nice agents,
they're not
too.
all a-holes, but a lot of them are.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are. They have this really weird sense of authority that they should not at all have.
Oh, you haven't traveled unless you've traveled with Doc Thompson.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, now I need to hear a story then. I like how everyone goes quiet.
Well,
Everyone
I'm trying
just
to
went
think of the
completely
one. I'm
quiet.
trying to decide which one to tell you.
Exactly.
The one. Let's see. Where were he and I go?
He opted out of the rapist scan every time.
Yes, he did.
Which caused all sorts of grief.
Yeah, they never like it when you opt out of their preferred method of bodily
They'll
intrusion.
shout it. They'll shout it.
Yes.
We got an opt-out!
You're going to have to wait here for 30 minutes. But yeah, every time. But when we went to Chicago, he, of course, he gets his phone out and starts videotaping. You know, the whole, sir, do you need to have your phone out? Yes, I do. Yep. Yes, I do. And in the Doc Thompson booming voice that you could hear from 3 terminals away. But they would, sir, you don't need to. Yes, I do. I can do this if I want to.
Yeah.
He loved, most of the time, sometimes I'll get in that mood where I want to, dig my heels in. Most of the times, just get me through this.
Yeah.
Get me through the security so I can get on the other side, eat something, get on the plane, fall asleep.
Yeah.
But he loved to mess with them.
Good.
Not only that, you know how flying Spirit Airlines is a complete train wreck as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you couple Doc Thompson with Spirit Airlines, what a disaster.
But it's an
For them,
it's an
actually.
entertaining disaster.
Oh, it was entertaining as hell.
Oh, yeah, he got the last laugh.
I love, man.
Another.
And who was it that almost got punched? The lady behind the counter. Beth that day.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of, you know what? One of the reasons that I actually hate the TSA is because they slammed a, I want to say mentally ill. I shouldn't mentally ill, mentally disabled.
Because you can't say retarded.
Yeah. Mentally disabled girl. I think she was about 13.
Right.
But she didn't know what was happening. But the guards, the TSA, for some odd reason, targeted her. They're like, we need to search her. And she has no idea what's going on. She can't figure it out.
Freaked out, yeah.
She's freaked out. These strangers are touching her. They're taking her off to the side away from her parents and yada, yada, yada. So she starts having a panic attack.
I can understand that.
Yeah. And they had to struggle and slam this little girl on the ground. There's pictures. They were videotaping it the entire time. She's got a bloody face. And I'm like, this is the TSA, folks. This is a perfect example of the TSA right here.
And remember, they have badges.
Yeah.
And remember, they have a color guard.
Yes.
They have just like the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines, they have a color guard.
Yeah. And most egregiously, they have a multi-billion-dollar budget.
And blue shirts. Blue shirts. Hey, let's talk about something that makes much more sense, and that would be the latest MAGA hat attack.
Oh, yeah, there's another one.
I love this.
I swear. You know what, folks? Wear a MAGA hat. Wear a MAGA hat around. Eventually, someone will find you. Yeah. Someone will either verbally assault you or physically attack you. This happened. This person who's wearing a MAGA hat had both happen to her. So and here's the greatest part. She was Mexican. The woman wearing a MAGA hat was a Mexican. Yeah. So this latest one, I believe it came out of California, just judging by the woman who posted it. I'm losing track of how often this happens. By the way, this is at redstate.com. Follow along.
Oh, we tweet out a link to the story. So
we should probably do that because, you'd think that I would think about that kind of thing.
It's the little things.
It's the little thing. It's the little things. Tweeting out a link right now.
I didn't mean the second. I thought you'd tell the story at the same time.
Well, I want them to follow along.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, apparently this woman was at a post office.
Right.
And as she walked in, a woman who was at the counter in front of her or whatever, by the way, this woman's name, she's a Mexican woman named Paloma. She runs a Facebook account called Paloma for Trump. So she's a Trump supporter, as you can probably guess by now. She walked into this post office wearing a MAGA hat, and this other woman who I don't know how to put this. I don't know how to put this politely, but she looks like she's of the lesbian persuasion.
I'm gonna have to disagree with your police work there, Bob. I don't see a flannel shirt.
She looks like she might be she might have some pronouns, you know.
She certainly got some issues.
Yeah, she definitely has those. But apparently, she saw this woman in the MAGA hat. She saw Paloma wearing the MAGA hat, and got really mad, as you might think about.
Oh, well, who wouldn't get mad if you see someone wearing a MAGA hat? I mean, what sane person wouldn't become infuriated and blind with rage when they see another human being wearing a hat that says "Make America Great Again"?
Because, of course, as you know, that means violence, Brad.
You think you have to tell me that "Make America Great Again" means violent?
That's right. Seeing that hat is literally assault. Yeah. Just seeing it is assault from the person wearing it. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
According to stupid people. Anyway, the upset woman attempted to harass this woman, to harass Paloma, and so, you know, as Paloma is apparently wont to do, she pulled out her phone and was like, "What was that? Make a move!
Say it on tape."
That's right. And so this woman starts getting upset. She's like, "Stop filming me." Paloma said, "I have the right to film you if I want to." And the woman attempted to physically stop
I love it when
Paloma
that happens.
from filming her. Upon Paloma screaming out, "Don't assault me," or "Don't harass me," and yada, 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 like,
"Don't
get your hand off
tase me, bro."
Yeah. The woman started trying to go up to the post office worker and was like, "Tell her to stop filming me. Stop it. Tell her to stop. I have the right to not be filmed." No, you don't.
It's in a public building.
Yeah, it's a public building. They can actually do whatever they want to. However, Paloma responded with, "I have the right not to be harassed." And, oh, there it is right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the story. Sorry, on the TV right now is them setting fire from earlier, setting fire to a baseball field in order to dry it off.
Yeah.
Great story. Anyway, they continued back and forth with the woman essentially saying, "I never harassed her," which one of the post office employees chimed in at this point in time, goes, "Yes, you did.
Whoa.
I saw it."
Whoa. Hold on. This, I'd like to call attention to the fact. Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Good for them.
That's what I said. And he even threatened to call the police.
Because generally speaking, it's hard to find anybody in the post office. I have friends that work at the post office.
We're not being so anti-post office.
Well, sort of, just a little bit, but not much.
You guys are great people. Yeah. But yes, to which they threatened to call the police. So the woman at that point in time just kind of drops the facade and goes, "Call the police."
Okay.
And
I bet that's worse than getting called as a cop. I'll bet that's worse than getting called to a domestic.
Yeah. Oh, probably.
It's at least in a domestic. It's just the I was going to say the battle of the two sexes, but not necessarily.
At least it's more
love.
entertaining,
right?
Here's the great part. This continued for a little while, and finally, this is the best part. Paloma is sitting there, a Mexican woman filming. And she says, "Don't harass me anymore," and yada, yada, yada. The woman turns around and says, "Okay, racist."
To Paloma?
To Paloma, the Mexican woman.
Hold on, I think I might have the audio.
And don't record me. Listen. Can you tell her not to record me? That's against the law. No, you just insulted me for my hand. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I have a right. Don't touch me. I have a right not to be harassed. Government office, I have a right. I have a right not to be harassed. You have no reason to harass me because of my hat.
Okay. First of all, if you're watching take a look at the shorts on this woman.
Yeah, those are some. This woman's shorts. Manlier than me.
By the way, I don't think is that the post office or is that like a mailbox?
I think it's a FedEx or a post office. Yeah,
no, it's a post office.
Is it a post office?
Yeah, it took place out. Yeah, because she actually took another picture outside and it was.
Looks way too clean to be a post office.
It doesn't matter. You have no reason to harass me just because I'm wearing a Trump hat.
Hello, it's Harris, not harass. It's Harris.
Don't harass me.
Obviously, Paloma has an issue with the English language being a foreigner and all. It's Harris.
What is wrong with you? I didn't harass her. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I saw it.
Did I say anything? Yes, you did. You have no reason to harass me.
Where is the supervisor?
He is the president of America, and I should wear whatever I want.
Oh, I thought you meant the supervisor at the post office. Technically, I guess he is kind of the supervisor of the Wow, okay.
Yeah. He's your supervisor. Now I'm gonna call the cops. Exactly. Do not harass me because of my hat. Call the cops. I don't care if you don't agree with it. I have the right to wear it. Irene. Okay, racist. Okay, racist. I'm a Mexican racist against the white. I'm a Mexican racist against the white like you. Yeah, I'm so racist. Listen to your arguments. But whatever you do, do not harass me. Do not harass me. You have no right to harass me. I know, public office.
Okay. I'm going to say this now, and okay, it's fine, but now Paloma's egging it on.
Now, Paloma did not help defuse the situation.
She did not, which,
This is a fact.
But it sure as hell is entertaining.
Lay your hands on me. I don't care what you think. I didn't lay my hands on you. Yeah, you didn't do anything.
I didn't lay my hands on you. Let me do it again.
She tries to bitch slap the phone out of her hands.
I didn't lay my hands on you, but let me do it again.
What is wrong with you?
No more, please. No more.
No mas. No mas.
All right. We have.
Is that the? Is that
that's the employee
harassing people on the street because I'm.
Wait. Is that the lesbian making fun of disabled people?
That's what it is. That's what it is now. She's making fun of disabled people.
She's making fun of those with a speech impediment. That is horrible. Listen to her. Listen.
Wearing a hat with the president's name on it. Look at you shaking. Get yourself together. Seriously.
Wow. She is shaking, which is crazy. Did you see that? She's shaking real bad.
And make sure you share it everywhere because I support the president of America. And if you don't agree with that, you should move somewhere else. I am Mexican. Get my address. You should move somewhere else if you don't like it here. If you don't like America, you should move out of America. Go to Mexico. Go to Central America if you don't like being here. If you don't like who the president is. And don't ever lay a hand on me. You hear me? Don't ever lay a hand on me.
Nobody touched
you. You psycho.
Now, here's the thing. If you notice during the video, Paloma is actually, she is laying into her. Okay?
Yes, she is.
And when it could have been over, she is egging it on.
But finally, somebody stood up, and this is good.
The thing is like, I actually have no problem with her doing that because how often do we see this go on and on and on and on, and finally we have the tables turned where quite literally the person who started it is afraid.
Yes.
And that to me is because think of it, she's a social justice warrior, this woman. All right. She just
not a very good one.
Not a very good one. She actually ran into a Mexican. The people that she is like apparently trying to protect from the big bad Republicans, she attacks the Mexican both physically and verbally, and then calls her a racist. She is not doing well. She is panicking. She is acting out. At one point in time, she is pulling out her phone. She's stunned. She doesn't have anything to say except for and then she gets called a psycho and just walks away, which she should have done from the very beginning. All she had to do, folks, like every other MAGA hat attacker, was nothing. Okay, that's all she had to do. But think about it. How often are we seeing this? We actually saw, let's see, the one in Palo Alto very recently.
Yes.
The one who attacked an old man sitting there by himself.
In Starbucks.
In Starbucks, who quite literally was doing nothing. And she tried to find out, like, I want to know where his kids go to school. I want to know where he works.
I want to know where his any club he's a member of. I want them to kick him out.
Exactly. She was out to ruin his life. Hilariously, however, she kind of exposed herself and where she works. She made herself very public. People found it easily. She got fired. She got fired. What else? A 14-year-old Kansas kid was harassed by a van store employee who demanded that when he walked into the store in the mall with his mother, the kid take off his hat. Upon refusing to do so, the van's employee said F you to the kid. Only he didn't say F. He said the word.
He said EU.
That's right. But so then, they go up to the manager, they tell the whole story, and like the kid, the van store employee is trying to put up this front, like I'm sure he's heard it before. He gets fired too.
Remember the sword attack? The sword attack in San Francisco, right up the road from Palo Alto.
But it was the man who was wearing the MAGA hat who had the sword, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but he responded. He attacked because the guy tried to flip off the MAGA hat.
Right, exactly. So he had every right.
Yeah, he was
assaulted, technically.
Technically, he was, and he has a right to defend himself.
At that point in time, if someone is coming up to you to flip off hats and whatnot, you don't know if they're going to go further. So pulling out a sword is fine. if you ask
it's
me.
Still a little odd. It's a little odd to carry a sword, but that's just me.
You know what? If I could, I'd carry around a sword.
Well, I am picturing Excalibur, and in fact, it probably was like a foot and a half long.
Stand thy ground, knave.
It probably was like a glorified pocket knife.
Yeah.
By the time the story
maybe.
made it to the press,
Like a tanto?
It was like Excalibur. This thing was 10 feet long.
He drew his sword from thy shiny scabbard and struck down his opponent.
It was a pen knife.
Another man in Tennessee had a gun pulled on him because he was wearing a MAGA hat.
I remember
Reportedly
that.
had a gun. And then the most high-profile one that we know of was the Covington Catholic kids.
Yeah.
Who were wearing MAGA hats, and they were assaulted or harassed continuously, not just by randos, but the mainstream media itself, who continued to try to expose these kids, where they lived, where their school was, tried to investigate into them to find anything that they possibly could to destroy these kids' lives. Kids, I will remind you, who many people, they don't understand what they're doing because they're pissed off. They think what they're doing is right. Remember, it's okay if we do it. They were threatening to throw these kids hat first into wood chippers as they screamed, according to one Disney producer. All right. One other DJ in Los Angeles was like, why don't we burn the school down with the kids in it?
What disc jockey said that?
I forget. He's some.
Did he really?
Yeah, he said that. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only one who said that.
It was Rick Dees, wasn't it? It was Rick Dees.
Rick Dees in the morning.
I don't think it was Rick Dees.
I don't.
But, you know, it's so weird. Like, even after they were proven completely innocent, the media would not let it go. They were going to find a way to make these kids guilty of racism, one way or another. They eventually landed on a picture of a whole bunch of the students doing blackface. Only they weren't doing blackface, they were doing blackout. Since their school color is black, they were at a sporting event. Have you ever heard of like a whiteout or a blackout or blue out or anything like that? It's basically you rep your student or your school colors.
Uncle Shoes.
By dressing in that color or even painting your face or whole body of that color. And since they were black, the school color is black.
Obviously.
It was a blackout! But it wasn't just their face. They were doing it their whole body. They were wearing black clothing, everything. It was a sporting event thing that people do very commonly. And they were like, oh, these kids are doing blackface. Look, they're doing black. You idiots.
Hey, we have two announcements before we close out the show. Right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
First announcement is we are giving away a Tar River Arms firearm.
And I had the.
You can actually go now to the front page of MoJo 50 Radio or MoJo50.com.
Yeah.
And click the link, and it'll take you over to the registration page.
Mm-hmm.
If you've registered in the past for one of the firearm giveaways, you must register again.
I found my notes.
Go ahead.
You just go to the front page of MoJo50.com. And if you registered for another one, you have to re-register.
Thank you. It is a Tar River Arms. It's a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380.
Those are cool. I was looking at those on the traguns.com, and those are cool little guns.
Yes.
They are great
They're
guns.
Nice little carry guns.
Yeah, they
also,
are.
you have a list of new shows.
I do have a list of new shows, but we're not done talking about TRA guns yet. We can't jip them out with 20 seconds worth of talk. I mean, we got to talk about them for at least another 40 seconds before it constitutes a full commercial.
I could talk about TRA guns.
I mean, I could say a lot of things about TRA guns in the next 40 seconds. I mean, if you listed the things I could say about TRA guns,
I would be amazed with what you would talk about.
I know it would be truly astounding if all of the things in my head that I know about traguns.com,
which is vast.
Yeah, they're completely vast.
Yeah.
If they came out of my brain, through my mouth, and into the microphone right here, you would be absolutely blown away.
If it was time.
There you go. traguns.com. And a list of new shows.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to
It's primarily the two shows that are starting. There's 3 shows starting next week for a 5-day-a-week run, right?
That's right, folks. The Informant.
I'm sorry, we're out of time. Keep going, hurry.
The Informant, Eric Thompson, 2 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Conservative Nation with Jermaine Bozzio. Bozzio, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Live! Uncommon Sense with Bill and Jen, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Live on 5-1.
Okie dokie, is that it?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's let's go?
It's not a tumor.
That is it, ladies and gentlemen. The train whistle means it is the end of Doc Thompson's.
I'm sorry, brother.
Daily Mojo. He's not sorry. Do not let him say that.
He's not sorry.
Before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned you can take your camel to PetSmart, but you can only do it on Wednesday.
That's right.
You can only do it on Wednesday. You know why you can only do it on Wednesday?
Huh?
What day it is? Guess what day it is?
That's why.
Huh? Anybody?
Bike.
Guess what day it is?
Guess what day?
Come on, I know you can hear me.
Yeah. We also learned traveling with Doc Thompson is like a day at the circus with hemorrhoids. And we learned that lesbian MAGA haters also hate the speech impaired.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That is nasty.
They hate the deaf, apparently. So I'm glad we could bring that to you as a public service because that is just disgusting.
That's right.
The Brandon Morse, who has a bunch of stuff at redstate.com and would love it if you go to redstate.com and click on his articles and read them. The Brandon Morse, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that in order to dry a baseball field, set it alight.
Damn straight.
And then go get the cops.
'Cause fire, bitches.
That's right. That's right. Don't call the fire department. They'll put it out.
Right.
Call the cops.
You know, I hadn't thought about that. You're right. Every time you call the firefighters, they fight your creation.
They fight, exactly. It's like, why are you trying to destroy my art?
Right. I'd never really thought of it. But you know what? I've learned a new way of looking at things.
Police, what they'll do is they'll call the fire department eventually, but first they'll talk about it to other people as a joke because it's funny.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You'll become famous far and wide.
Exactly. You will become internet famous. Thank you, police. That has become part of what they do now.
Yep.
They make people internet famous.
Especially Florida, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's see here. I also learned, if I'm not mistaken, that... oh, God. I lost it. I don't know what I learned today.
What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
They said, I like man buns. Fully loaded high caliber kitty said, oh, wait, you mean those other man buns. What? Oh, Jackal Angry Beaver said, MAGA hats trigger the left like man buns trigger the right.
You know, I have a Make Texas America Again hat. And
I like
it's
that
funny.
hat.
It's a great hat, but I walk into certain people go, hey, wait. Oh. Which is kind of funny.
Bob Blah Blah.
Love the Bob Blah Blah.
Me too. I love his Bob Blah 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 blog.
What do you mean it's Let's Go?
Hold on. That was the wrong one. Sorry.
It's Last Call Again.
I found this one.
New Hampshire?
It's the dumbest one I could find.
Bob Blah Blah said
Love
TSA
the Bob Blah Blah.
stands for touching so awkwardly.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
There's that. And it's also, damn it, I forgot to put the Joe Biden joke in there.
Oh, no.
As long as the TSA exists, Joe Biden will always have a job. Or the TSA went to Joe Biden for their sensitivity training.
Leprechaun 420 said our bell count today is 20. Missed innuendo bells 17. Actual bells and horns and 5 horns. We had an excess of horns today.
We did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not always ass backwards on these things.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes we do.
I think we're boring the snot out of Ron. I think it's time to go because he's over there looking at the clock now.
He looks like he
counting
needs
down.
to sleep.
Right? He's got
You guys are
one
killing
hand.
me right now.
He's got one hand on the handle to the outdoor.
I'm doing this job in here is what I'm doing.
That's what they all say. By the way, we will get to those new numbers on procrastination as soon as Doc Thompson returns from his Florida vacation. In the meantime, your Daily Mojo is a Ron Phillips production wherever you go, whatever you do. We're gonna get through this together. Live by the 5 rules. You got a shot at being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are!